Drop that Joan B.
Does it real good? You know it.
Hey, land over, land over, land over, land over. Land over, land over, land over, land over, land over, land over, land over. Stand there, then land over. We stand there, it's VIP style. Hey, how we doing? Hey, what we do? Hey, I said I pull up to the club. I'm looking so clean since the 77 cut dog painted like green. Since today, I'm married and my wife don't pay. If you want me to treat you ugly chick, you gotta pay. Said I pull up to the I'm looking so clean since the 77 cut dog painted like green. Since today, I'm married and my wife don't pay. And like this, no. She give me yeah, she give me yeah, she give me yeah. And she does it real good. She does it, does it, does it, does it. Burger love it when she does it, does it, does it, does it, does it.
Does it real good?
She does it, does it, does it, does it. Caesar love it when she does it, does it, does it, does it, does it.
Does it real good?
She does it, does it, does it, does it. L Boogie did it, does it, does it, does it, does it, does it.
Does it real good?
She does it, does it, does it, does it. Be real love it when she does it, does it, does it, does it.
Hey, what they call it? Hey, I see the bobblehead, I see the bobblehead, I see the bobblehead, I see the bobblehead. She go boing, 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 boing. She sucking, sucking, sucking. See the bobblehead, I see the bobblehead, I see the bobblehead, I see the bobblehead. And break it down, boom, boing, 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 boing. I see the bobblehead, I see the bobblehead, I see the bobblehead, I see the bobblehead. She goes boing, 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 boing. She sucking, sucking, sucking. See the bobblehead, I see the bobblehead, I see the bobblehead, I see the bobblehead. And break it down, boom, boing, 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 boing. And hey, she give me yeah, she give me yeah, she give me yeah. And remix, does it,
Does it, does it, does it, does it, does it,
and force three,
does it, does it, does it real good? Does it, 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 does it real good? Does it, 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 does it real good? Does it, 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 does it,
and
does
like
it, does
this,
it
no.
real
She give me yeah, she give me yeah, she give me yeah. And she
does it real good?
She does it, does it, does it, does it, land over, did it, does it, does it, does it, does it, does it.
Does it real good?
She does it, does it, does it on the highway. When she does it, does it, does it, does it, does it.
Does it real good?
She does it, does it, does it, does it, sipping on the milkshake, does it, does it, does it, does it.
Does it real good?
She does it, does it, does it, does it. Ooh, I love it when she
Hey, what we call him, young?
Does it
Hey,
real
I see the bobblehead, I see the bobblehead, I see the bobblehead, I see the bobblehead. She going boing, 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 boing. She sucking, sucking, sucking. See the bobblehead, I see the bobblehead, I see the bobblehead, I see the bobblehead. She going boing, 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 boing. She sucking, sucking, sucking. See the bobblehead, I see the bobblehead, I see the bobblehead, I see the bobblehead. She going boing, 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 boing. She sucking, sucking, sucking. See the bobblehead, I see the bobblehead, I see the bobblehead, I see the bobblehead. She going boing, 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 boing. And she give me yeah, she give me yeah, she give me yeah. And remix,
Get it done.
does it, 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 does it real good? Does it, does it, does it, does it, does it, does it, you got it, does it, does it, does it real good? Does it, does it, does it, does it, does it, does it, does it,
hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, time.
does it, does it, does it, does it, does it, does it, does it,
Here we go,
does it,
youngin'.
Get it done.
Well, what time is
wanna see it
Turn
come
them up,
to
Junior.
And see that big part of me. Mommy, shake it like you care for me. I know you like it when you do that little dance for me. I wanna see it come to
Hey, D.
and see that big
Hey, tell them what you want, D.
I want your pussy.
Rock the pole. You got pitch black, let's do it. Left,
Right,
left,
right,
left,
right,
left,
right, 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 rock the boat. Hey,
let's do it. Left,
right, right, Don't stop giving me your loving, 'cause my heart is waiting for your loving.
My nigga Al gotta be there.
Come on.
Go harder, nigga. Hey, to go harder, nigga. But all low, because the C-H-B never die.
Put the
So
heel
anyway, yo, hey, hey, go out.
It's your birthday.
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 To go harder, nigga.
It's your birthday.
Hey, walk, hey, walk, yo. Hey, walk, Ain't no words. Hey, run, let do the thing. Look on the front. With that silk. Ain't no way down low. Hey, brother, walk. Hey, we gon' set it off for the left. No. Sit back and tell these niggas. Let me have me, huh? Yo, because the B.I.B. never die. I got love for the B.I.B. never die. We on that emotional roller coaster. Yeah, what you want, D?
I want your pussy to die.
Hey, baseline, Tom. Baseline, yo. I'm a good man. She born, but she's so bad. Slackers. Hard or light. I'm a good man. She born, but she's so bad. Slackers. Hard or light. I'm a good man. She born, but she's so bad. Slackers. Hard or light. I'm a good man. But she's so bad. Overtake and put it in a rotate, yo.
Put this dick up in your mouth. Just put this dick up in your mouth. Put this dick up in your mouth. Just put this dick
bitch, goddamn.
Hey, the shorty bounce, hey, the shorty roll. You never know till you go. Stick that thing, yo, shorty. There it go. Well, stick that thing, yo, shorty. There it go. Now can you wobble it? Let me know. Well, can you wobble it? Let me know. Now stick that thing, yo, shorty. There it go. Well, stick that thing, yo, shorty. There it go. Well, she wobble it. Let me know. A thing goes. A 21st say. Hey, do shorty bounce, do shorty roll. You never know till you go. Stick that thing on shorty. There it go. Stick that thing on shorty. There it go. Now can you wobble it? Let me know. Now can you wobble it? Let me know. Well, stick that thing on shorty. There it go. Well, stick that thing on shorty. There it go. Now can you wobble it? Let me know. DJ, hey, with shorty there she go. You gotta get it, girl. There she go, go. There she go. Hey, you gotta get it, girl. There she go. DJ, hey, with shorty there she go. You gotta get it, girl. There she go. Well, there she go, go. You gotta get it, girl. Hey, it's on me, look. Wish I could spell her everything. Touch her in every way, but she stays so many miles away. She miles. So many miles away. Wish I could spell her everything. Touch her in every way, but she stays so many miles away. She miles. So many miles away. Wish I could spell her everything. Touch her in every way, but she stays so many miles away. She miles. So many miles away. Wish I could spell her everything. Touch her in every way, but she stays so many miles away. She miles. So many miles away. As she goes, hey, do shorty bounce, you never know till you go. Well, stick that thing on shorty. There it go. Well, stick that thing on shorty. There it go. Well, can you wobble it? Let me know. Well, can you wobble it? Let me know. Well, stick that thing on shorty. There it go. Stick that thing on shorty. There it go. Well, can you wobble it? Let me know. Well, they move, hey, and she goes, hey, shorty bounce, you shorty roll, you never know till you go. Well, stick that thing on shorty. There it go. Well, stick that thing on shorty. There it go. Well, can you wobble it? Let me know. Well, can you wobble it? Let me know. Well, stick that thing on shorty. There it go. Well, stick that thing on shorty. There it go. Well, can you wobble it? Let me know. Uptown, a 21st day, we go. A 49 squad, 49 shorty. A little girl, that goes to young, yeah. A good night, yeah. A DJ.
You are now tuned into the CrankedOut GoGo Happy Hour. Hosted by Hollywood Mike T.
Good afternoon, good evening, and I am Hollywood Mighty. You are in the Cranked Out Go-Go Happy Hour, and I'm here with my special guest, one of my special guests for today. I have actually two of them today. One is on the way, but the first one, he is here. This guy right here, before I get him to say a word, I have to give him his flowers. This guy, man, he's been holding Go-Go down for a long time at this point. A little bit less than a decade, maybe a decade at this point. I'm not sure. We're going to get into that to get to know exactly how long he's been in this game, but I've known him for a long time. At least 5 to 7 years I've known him. and he's been a good dude to me. We had our issues, because of music, and I didn't understand certain things. But as men, we've come together and we've talked, like I told him I was going to say on this show. This show does not happen if he didn't reach out to me and say, "Hey, Mike T, I see what you're doing. I can help you do it better. Let me teach you this." And I accepted him teaching this to me because I didn't know what I was doing. I was just trying to play music for people, And he came to me and he helped me get this platform started. So I'm thankful for him. And we got the one and only K-Smoove from let me say this correctly, from Exclusive GoGo and the Ambition Band. What's up, K-Smoove?
What's going on?
Nothing much, man. Welcome to the CrankedOut GoGo Happy Hour. Thank you for coming, man. I'm happy that you're here. And tell the people about yourself, man. Tell the people who you are. Tell the people, who don't know, who've been living under a rock, about things that you're involved in. And go ahead. This platform, you heard yesterday's show. This platform is yours, my man.
Can't say much. All I can tell you is my name's K-Smoove. I'm the owner / CEO of Exclusive GoGo. Don't get it confused as the founder. I am not the founder of Exclusive GoGo. I also co-manage Ambition. And I guess I can officially say it now that I'm also up-and-coming sound man.
Okay. Up and coming sound man. Okay. Yep. That's a nice way to humbly say that, because you've been doing your thing out here. I mean, I know a couple of albums that you worked on, a couple of projects you worked on, a couple of live streams you've done, as far as the sound wise. So, I mean, you could say you're up and coming, but I think that you got your feet wet enough to know that you're a staple. So where we go from here? Let's see. You said that you don't have much, but you are. I'm going to give you the flowers. K-Smoove, for those that don't know, he's not the founder, but he's the owner, like he said, of Exclusive GoGo. And Exclusive GoGo, for those that don't know, is a streaming platform. Well, is it a streaming platform?
One of its services is a streaming platform.
Got you. Okay. So there we go. That's one of the things we do in the CrankedOut GoGo Happy Hour. I don't just have a whole bunch of questions I have lined up. Mm-hmm. I go off of your answers. Gotcha. And so good, cool. Let's start there. What services do Exclusive GoGo provide for people? Because I know, what is it, YouTube? Yep. I know the streaming side. Yep. But what else?
And there was once upon a time where we was doing promotional services. Stopped that because folks started getting older and time started getting more constrained. But I can say Exclusive GoGo has always been a GoGo distribution company. And I can't say company back then because it wasn't legally a company back then. It is a company now. But it's always been to help push GoGo out to the masses. Because the number one question people will always ask is, where'd you get that? How can I find that? How can I download that? Where do I get this? So it all started off as Derek, the founder. You guys know him as Bounce OD on Twitter. I'm pretty sure that's not his Twitter handle anymore. But, he started it back in December 2009 because Terrorize Speed wasn't uploading stuff anymore. A lot of people, I guess a lot of younger people were confused about navigating GoGo Central. And then, you got to get 15 posts to unlock something so you can go to the GoGo download section. And then you got to comment good look in order to unlock the downloads. And then by the time you get to the downloads, the link is dead. And so we just started putting up stuff on YouTube. I joined them in probably about mid-2010. So I can say I've been with Exclusive GoGo now for 10 years, over 10 years.
So I was right, a decade. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm, okay. A good decade. And then from there, I can say Derek got tired of dealing with the bands. Once you become a staple for putting out information, for distributing things, people are going to keep coming, right? So it ends up taking up a lot of your time. Back then we was doing stuff the no homo, air quote pause, long and hard way, which is, taking your song, putting it on Movie Maker, putting your logo on there, and making sure that the logo displays for however long your song is, rendering that video, and then doing it for every single song that you've sent us for album, single, whatever, and then uploading it to YouTube. On top of going back and making our own links, because most people are still using SendSpace, and SendSpace is terrible. Mega Upload got taken down 2011, 2012. Half that stuff got taken down too, so we ended up making our own MediaFire. So it was originally creating our own videos, uploading videos, and making our own links. It's in 2013 when Exclusive GoGo was actually handed off to me that I was already in the process of doing something bigger than just putting stuff on YouTube, you know. I gotta give the inspiration and credit to Relo. If you don't know who Relo is the founder and owner of what was to be GoGoCentral.com. I want to say 2010, 2011, 2012, he came out with this project called, let me get it correct. It was, I see the logo in my head. It's DMV something. It was DMV something. It was basically the first website of its kind. It was a streaming platform for GoGo. He branded it as the, I can't say the Apple Music because Apple Music did not exist then, but it was like the playlist of GoGo. It was the Pandora of GoGo. That's what he called it, the Pandora of GoGo, where you can log on. There was a player. There was albums already ready. You could say the website looked like at the time what you would call modern day Spinrilla.
Okay.
But back then, the site to go to was, what was that giant mixtape site that everybody was on before Spinrilla?
Piff.
Yes.
That Piff.
It looked like Dat Piff. It was literally like a DMV version of Dat Piff. All you had to do was sign up for an account. It had a built-in player, and you could listen to stuff. The only kill to the mo is you had to be an administrator in order to upload content, which means if you wasn't sending stuff to Relo, it wasn't going to show up. And that always is going to end up in being a stopgap, because if any of you know Relo's a busy man. And Relo's the type of guy where he'll usually put people onto a project to manage it for him while he oversees it. So when that website started going down because no new content was being uploaded, around that time, I was a moderator on GoGo Central. Mega Upload went down. A lot of GoGo Central links were dead. So I spent my entire winter time during that blizzard of 2012. I uploaded my entire GoGo archive to Mega Upload, and I restored the entire GoGo download section. And I remember 2013, I was a senior in high school. I was like, there has to be an easier way to do this, because the consistent, do you have this CD? You got this CD. Like, I remember there was a time I made this giant link and I shared it around on Twitter for about 1.5 years, 2 years. All the GoGo that you want in the world, right here on this link. I had a folder link, and you literally seen all the bands by their names, and then you click on the band names, and then you see all the folders by their albums, and then you click on the album and you see all the tracks that's in there. And it got to the point where it was starting to get a little too unmanageable, you know, because back then MediaFire, it was the fastest thing, but it took so long to upload stuff.
Yes, it did. It was quick to download, but it was to upload. It took
forever, especially on that terrible desktop client that I was using. It took about 2.5 weeks for me to upload what the current archive, well, what the then archive was. It was about 20 gigs worth of GoGo. which for me now is laughable. But yeah, it was about 20 gigs a go-go. I want to say it was about 10, 12,000 songs altogether. And so, yeah, so around the time, and this is going to be a great story for everybody. It was March 2013. Derek was already expressing to me that he had already expressed to me a month before, and he's done it before. He was like, I'm going to pull the plug on XG. I'm tired of it, the dealing with the bands every day and feeling unappreciated for it. Like, I'm going to let it go. But then he was like, I don't want to let it die either because it's a great thing. I just can't handle it anymore. So I was like, I'll take it on for you. Like, if most people don't know me, if you know me since GoGo Central, you've known that I've always been the guy with the links.
Right.
Since 2007, I've always been the guy with the links. Even though most of them links would probably originally come from GoGo Frank.
Right.
But I always made backup copies. And so, the first thing I did when I got exclusive GoGo was I created a website. And what did I do? I made a GoGo Central cone. Because that same week, GoGo Central died. March 8th, 2013, at approximately 5:11 p.m. It's not a timestamp that I would not forget, because I was actually sitting in evening service at church, and I was going to go check something on GoGo Central, and all I saw was a white page. All I saw was a white page, and so I actually dipped out of church and I called Relo. I was like, dude, GoGo Central's down. He was like, are you serious? I was like, yeah, it's down. He came back to me an hour later and said, GoGo Central is gone. Everything is gone. The entire website is gone, and all I have is a backup of 2008. Because to preface this, a week prior, I had convinced Relo to basically hand over GoGo Central to me. I was going to take over the hosting and administration of GoGo Central because none of the moderators were active anymore. None of the super moderators were active anymore. None of the admins were active anymore. And everybody knows, if you were a frequent member of GoGo Central, Relo wasn't really active either.
Right.
And so GoGo Central was literally just running on its own. I mean, I can give credit to Yo Boogie. Yo Boogie was a moderator in the GoGo downloads. He was the only reason why the GoGo downloads was still popping, because he could still approve posts. But outside of that, yeah, nothing. There was no administrative oversight over GoGo Central at all, and it had to be for at least 2 to 3 years, because anyone who was on GoGo Central during the golden days, 07 to 09, know that in 2010, Relo did something unprecedented for GoGo Central. Relo took down GoGo Central for a whole 2.5 months. Mid-October, it was late September going into October 2010, Relo took down GoGo Central for an upgrade. That upgrade took 2 months. He didn't bring GoGo Central back until about close to December. And that's when everything had changed. I can go into the technicals of what happened, because I understand exactly what happened, but essentially, upgrade went wrong. The people he hired did not finish, and it was left as a half-assed job. So GoGo Central was only half functioning for about the first 6 months after the upgrade. And from then, it's really been trying to get on its own legs and everything since there. From there, it just went downhill. So, fast forward back to March 2013, I was going to inherit GoGo Central as well. So, at that time, I was going to have GoGo Central and exclusive GoGo. Mind you, at the same time, I was actually running a competing website against GoGo Central called Music Central. Not original, right? But I was doing everything on Music Central that needed to be done on GoGo Central in order for it to flourish. When said and done, I had over 3,000 members on Music Central. I will say about a good 2,875 of them actually came from Exclusive GoGo, because there was a time where Music Central and Exclusive GoGo merged. But when you have two chiefs running the operation and the two chiefs don't always see eye to eye, you got to have a split. So that's what happened. I mean, I still stuck with XG, but I ran Music Central independently. And so either way, back to when I was going to merge them both together, GoGo Central died. And so for the first 2 months after that, when Relo said, GoGo Central's no more, I'm not going to bring it back, that's it. When I first built ExclusiveGoGo.net, that's what it was. It was a front-running WordPress page with polls and stuff like that. I had flyers for what the next shows was. I had song playing in the beginning, just like GoGo Central. But it wasn't just a web page with flyers and a banner. It was an actual web site for you to browse around. Like my GoGo download section was an actual music store that as long as you had an account, all you had to do was log in, you go to the GoGo downloads, and it literally looked like a library of sorts. Okay? That started not working out because, well, you have to consistently maintain the library. Right. And back then, as a high schooler, I only had so many funds, and I could not maintain as much. So there was always I gotta move the website. It's getting too expensive. Gotta move the website. I would always phrase them as upgrades. I'll say May 2013. Me and this guy Frank. If you guys don't know Frank is a co-manager for AJA. He's also an up and coming soundman as well. Frank and I have brainstormed over the idea of creating a platform where instead of us doing all the work and having to do everything to provide everybody with the content they wanted, we wanted something where, okay, you log in, boom, it's there. You don't have to sit there and post in the forum. You don't have to browse in a giant content library. Like, log in, it looks like your media player, but it has all the GoGo on it, and it's on the website. Oh, and you can download it too without any cost. And so I came up with the name Exclusive GoGo Unlimited. Unlimited meaning you can get on as many times as you want. You can download as many times as you want. You can access it whenever you want. So we came out with the first beta of Exclusive GoGo Unlimited. We dropped it June the 9th, 2013. And it blew up. Like, it blew up so much that y'all crashed my damn server. Like, the server crashed the first day. And I was barely maintaining it back then. Back then, I was a real techie noob. I was a noob, man. I had no idea what I was doing, but I knew I had to be doing something right because end of the day, my server kept crashing. That means the demand was there. So over time, we've buckled it down. We've done tagging a lot more. The library setup is better. And at this point, it's completely automated to the point where the user only has to sign up for an account. Once they have an account, they can log in on their computer. They can log in on their phone. It's good to go. That's it. The only manual part really is adding content to it. And remember, I said earlier, the crazy thing is we start off with a library of 12,000 songs. We now have a library of over 60,000 songs. Okay, because back then I used to think my collection was the shit. I got humbled when I met DJ Blackhouse. DJ Blackhouse had all of the
That's my
old
guy.
head crank
That's my guy there.
that
Man.
I needed.
Good dude.
That man saved me. He pulled up on me at Bowie State. I had him signed into the dorms, and I had him bring his MacBook and his hard drive, and I had him plug his hard drive directly into my server, and I dragged and dropped all of that stuff. Like, I'm seeing backyards that I've never seen in my life. I'm seeing TCB that I've never seen in my life. I'm seeing UCB that I've never seen in my life. I gotta give credit to DJ Blackhouse for revitalizing
That's a great dude, man. Great
the
dude.
archive.
Great
Like,
dude.
Blackhouse will forever have a lifetime pass to the collection because of that. Because it wouldn't be where it is. The collection would not be where it is today if it wasn't for him. So shout out to Blackhouse. I hope you're not buried in homework right now, my guy. You need to stop working so hard.
Let me ask you this question, because and I had the pleasure of working with Blackhouse when I was at Bounce Beat Radio. That's how I got to really know you when I was at Bounce Beat Radio. We were talking off air about how can I put this in a politically correct way. The conversation we had, I don't want to say it that way because I don't want to offend anybody, but educated dudes, as myself, as you are, we understood a lot of things. That's how, like I said, when I first went to Bounce Beat Radio, you were helping us with getting on exclusive GoGo. Also, I think you were doing the stream as far as the video. That was Nico.
That was Nico, but I was recording the audio and
Gotcha.
saving them too.
That's what I thought. Okay. And a lot of times I would see in the comments, and of course back then they didn't want to give me my credit. When I would say something, you would be agreeing with me. Like, hold up, he's saying the right thing. Like, y'all are thinking like, you know, GoGo terms, and he's thinking of. So that's how me and you connected for real. And I mentioned that we had an issue with music, and that's why I want to go into because again, man, you know me, but a lot of people don't know me. I'm a grown man, man. I take accountability for where I'm wrong. So when I came at you, again, we've definitely talked about it before, but I want people publicly to know I apologize because I came at you wrong. I was out of character. So I'll say that you did come back at me, kind of. You threw a little shot, because you were like, well, ain't nobody streaming New Vision anyway. And I'm like, mother. But I couldn't say nothing because it was the truth. Like, I guess an analytics guy. I guess that's the word for it. So I look when I'm on GoGo Central at how many views, because it says it. And that's I wanted to give you props about that as well, because a lot of these bands, they think that they're God's gift to GoGo. But you could go on there and you could see, hey, you only been streamed 75 times. Yeah, it's a humbling experience if you let it be a humbling experience. Like I said, when I went on and I saw New Vision, the numbers that we were getting, a couple of when we dropped the 3 disc, the numbers went back up. Right. But at first, you know what I'm saying, because we haven't gone for so long, you know, the numbers were low. Right. So I asked you this. I'm gonna ask you this question. I know the answers to it, but I would like the world to know, why doesn't the bands eat off exclusive GoGo? Before you answer, because to play devil's advocate, because I get it from your perspective, and I know the truth. That's why I haven't said anything. Period. But I feel as though, how can I put this? I feel as though, to play devil's advocate, it could be a way that we could get it done. And, you know, I've reached out to you, and I've said it earlier today that I would like to be a part of that, helping you get that done. Right. But why, could you explain to the people out there, what is it, why aren't bands eating from it? Because if technically, if you want to be honest, not even technically, literally, GoGo was streaming before regular recording artists were streaming. Yep. You know, when when we started streaming, those other acts, recording artists, they were on to, well, how could I put it? They still was on LimeWire and FrostWire and stuff like that.
The closest thing, Pandora.
Right. We were, and I think we were better than Pandora because we didn't have the commercials.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? You could just go in there and you could just play whatever, you know what I'm saying, band you wanted to play. So I want to know, I want you to tell the people your side of things, though, because I know I'm not the only person that's come to you with it. Mm-hmm. I know there's plenty of people that's come to you with it. I know maybe I might have been the most vocal about it, and that's how we began our friendship, more so to get to know each other.
Right.
But tell the people why, you know what I'm saying, why they don't pay. And what not that you don't pay. Let me not say that, because I don't know if you don't. Mm. I'm not saying that you don't, because I'm pretty sure you're working stuff out, especially with just doing sound and stuff like that. Mm. But why don't bands benefit from GoGo besides the views? Mm. Why don't bands benefit from it? Go ahead.
So the number one reason why bands are not profiting and will not profit off of Exclusive GoGo Unlimited is because Exclusive GoGo Unlimited itself does not generate revenue. Okay? I do not charge anyone for my service. In fact, the only service that I charge for is accessing what we dub as premium content. Premium content meaning something me or a member of my team has had to go and pay for in order to get. And so when it comes to the cost of hosting, the infrastructure to hold up Exclusive GoGo Unlimited, the cost of hosting far outdo the cost of the subscriptions that we get. I mean, we don't have a lot of what we call gold members. We just don't, you know what I'm saying? And I'd love to have a way where bands could profit off of the streaming platform. I have an idea of how to do it, but it will cost me more. It will cost me up front to make it happen. Okay. And then from there, I would have to change my entire way of how I allow users to access the site. I'd have to put it behind a paywall to make it fair. I would have to paywall the hell out of Extra U in order to make it fair. Because if I want to do it the industry standard way of doing it, I would either could charge the bands for having their content on there, and then I would have to do what we would call a profit sharing of, if I require users to pay this amount of a fee to be a member, and then I would be like, okay, I would have to split up. Let's say I charge everybody $5 to be a member, right? I'd have to split up that $5 between hundreds of bands, potentially. How do you split up $5 between 100 different entities? You really can't, right? Because we don't have the metrics that drill down that type of stuff. We don't metric size that much. So the easier way would it be is set up some type of licensing thing, right? Where this is probably going to be a conversation we have later. We're going to need to have some type of GoGo union or GoGo board that establishes some type of licensing scheme. Okay, and the number one scheme would be a streaming license, right? Let's say New Vision re-releases their 09 Studio CD. I want that CD to be streamed as many times as I want on my website. Right. I would have to pay New Vision a streaming license to host that and stream it.
Use DopeClick.
Okay. You say DopeClick and drop something. I would have to pay DopeClick a license fee to not only host the music, but distribute it as many times as I want. And that fee will honestly either be up to y'all, or it would be up to whatever this, GoGo licensing board would be. You know what I'm saying? I've heard I don't want to put the particular people out there, but I know there is a distributor who pays $900 for one backyard CD, and that nine
for one CD.
for one CD, because that $900 will go straight back to the band, and that would allow him to basically sell or resell that CD at a price where he can make that money back and more. Because if you think about it, okay, if I'm buying something and I'm going to resell it, the band has to make their profit and I have to make my profit. So if one, if one CD is going to cost me $900 in licensing fees, that means I need to sell that CD to at least 90 people at $10. You know what I'm saying? And then that way, it'll already offset the cost. But that does not work in the streaming world, because after 90 people, I'm the one who's breaking bread at that point. The band is not seeing anything further than the 90 people. It could be 10,000 people who have gone and bought that CD for $10. That means that the band has only seen 900 of those dollars that people have paid for. Meanwhile, I'm sitting in the thousands. I'm living chummy. I'm living careful. You know what I'm saying? So there has to be a fair way to make it so that anytime a profit is gained from that album or that single in particular, there's a fair split. And I can say with full honesty that my platform does not have that available. We don't have the business infrastructure for that. The streaming platform is not built like that. And we don't have any entity that could regulate that. And I don't have a metrics analyzation platform that would handle all that for me. Something would have to track the metrics of every single band that I have. Every single one of their albums, every single one of their songs. I'd have to trace things by a band, per album, per single metric. And then I would have to come up with a fair compensation rate of every time this song is played, every time this song is downloaded, it is worth this amount. And based off of this amount, the original artist gets this amount of it, and then I get the rest. We just don't have it set up that way. It's impossible right now. There's no way for me to do it. Also, the biggest caveat, especially when it comes to bounce beat, is you're distributing the CDs for free anyway. So why are you expecting a profit from me when I got it for free? Who am I to sell your free product for money? You telling me that I got a double disc ABM CD from 09 that they gave out for free because it was on GoGo Central for free, whether it was by the band's permission or not. The whole world done got that CD for free, and I got the nerve to come out here and sever it and charge people $5 to $10 for it, and the band doesn't see any of that money. That's money laundering.
That is.
And I don't function that way.
So, what would you be willing to work with people to get that infrastructure and that in place, so it can be, bands can start to profit off of it, or you could, even yourself, you could start profiting off of it as well. Because at the end of the day, let me not say we, because I can't speak for everybody else. Mm-hmm. But I can say that your work doesn't go unrecognized. Mm-hmm. What you've done and the commitment that you've played, that you played into this game, the role that you played in this game, it doesn't go unrecognized. I told you that before we got on there. Mm-hmm. You know, it doesn't go unrecognized. I know the contribution that you've done. As much to me, like, I feel as though Bounce Beat Radio kept Bounce Beat alive. Mm-hmm. I think that as a whole with GoGo, you also helped keep GoGo alive as well. Mm-hmm. So, would you be willing to sit down with people or to partner up with people to try to get that done? Because I think that's the next step in making GoGo, established as far as, because we already established as a genre. We know what we are, and you know what we are. Everyone knows what we are, but no one, the business side of it has been the issue since the beginning. I think really the only person that probably had that business right the whole time was Chuck Brown. I don't think that everyone else has had their business right. Even, and I'm including backyards and the junkyards. I don't know exactly what happened with the junkyard deal with Def Jam. I know how a band is, where a band doesn't want to just sit around for months. Because like when you do when you're signed to a label, you don't just drop music like we drop music in GoGo.
Right.
With a GoGo band signed to a label, you got to sit 3 months doing nothing.
Or go on tour.
Right. And back then, it wasn't really touring like it is now, as far as music. Period. That was the '80s when they were signed to Def Jam. So, would you be willing to sit down with some people and talk to some people and try to get to partner up? And because it sounds like to me more so than anything, you need help.
Yeah.
And not necessarily not help like he needs some help. No, more so you would welcome it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I more than likely would. I mean, but it would also require a lot of crossing of T's, a lot of dotting of I's, a lot of cursive signatures, and a lot of investment, honestly. And that's going to be the key part, is investing into a platform that is going to blossom into something that's going to be like, this is how GoGo did it. This is how GoGo is going to continue to do it, and this is, it is what it is. Because the one thing I can gloat about exclusive GoGo, Unlimited in particular, just the streaming platform, is we were the first ones to do the streaming thing.
Right.
And I'm talking about streaming not in the sense of how we are streaming to people right now, how you're clicking on this broadcast and you're seeing it. I'm talking about before there was an Apple Music, before there was a Spotify, before there was a Tidal, before there was any of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? The closest thing to it was really playlist.com. But playlist.com is commercial. It's not catered towards GoGo. Right. Exclusive GoGo Unlimited is strictly GoGo. Like, I've had a lot of people in my inbox saying, bruh, you should expand this to DMV artists. And I'm just like, that's not a good idea. Because now you're going to take it out of the umbrella of where my air quote expertise is. I know GoGo, and I know the people in GoGo. So it's easier for me to navigate GoGo and deal with GoGo, because there's always going to be either somebody who knows the people directly, or I'm going to know them directly. Okay? Because I've even made it clear, anytime you don't feel comfortable with certain material of yours on the website, you can contact me. I'll take it down. You know what I'm saying? Even Michelle Blackwell from What Band has reached out to me, and has asking me to take down certain What Band content because it's What Band original content. And if I am not generating, the money or profit to give to them, I should not be, providing it to the masses. So I've done that before. But yeah, I'm more than willing to help it, but it's gonna be a lot of work.
Okay, so
it's gonna be a lot of work.
Okay, let's start with what would need to be. I know you said it's contract, so that makes sense. What else would you need?
The number one thing, honestly, dude, is the infrastructure part, the technical infrastructure. Okay. XGU is built on an open source platform, okay? Which means that there is somebody out there who's taking the time out of their day to maintain it fully or half-ass maintain it. In order for it to function the way that we will want it to function, we will have to take over that open source it and brand it as something as our own. Which means the first initial thing is, number one, having an investment. And that way, using those investment funds, we can hire full-time developers to develop the website, take over the open source project, turn it into something that we want it to be. And that is just the core website itself. That's just the application. That's just the platform. This doesn't include hiring a developer who's going to work with mobile SDKs to build out, mobile applications for every mobile platform that there is. And that's just mobile platforms. Now you got to take into accountability of, okay, do we want people to be able to download a program on their computer and, be able to run this thing? Do you want to be able to access it from your Fire Stick? You want to be able to access it from a Chromecast? It's so many technological possibilities. You know what I'm saying? We got a plan for that, and we have to make sure that we're not going to overwhelm ourselves by doing so. So the first step is getting that initial investment and getting developers in-house so that we can build the platform into what we want it to be. Because once we have the platform to where we want it to be, that's customizing it so that not only it looks the way we want it and functions the way we want it, but now we can tie in another piece where it's doing the metrics analyzation part, and it's doing it's generating reports saying this is how much this is how well this band is doing here, and based off this amount of clicks, based off this many downloads, based off this many full plays, this is how much profit it is supposed to generate. Okay, and then we start building in the advertisements into the websites. That's when we can start creating the tiered memberships that come, with full year or monthly payment plans built into mobile apps. That's where all those possibilities start coming into play. Right now, I don't have that flexibility. In fact, because everybody knows the URL for the website, if I wanted to be a dickhead and make it so that everybody has to pay in order to access XGU, I couldn't do it. Because the URL. You can get directly to it. Even if I make it so that it redirects you to a payment page, and then from that payment page, only from that payment page, you can get to the registration. It wouldn't work. It's too much. It would be too much for me by myself to maintain. To me, it's not worth it. Especially since my original goal was not to make a profit off of this. My original goal actually was for me to be able to give out GoGo as lazily as I possibly can. Because I was a full-time college student and I did not have the time of sending links to people all day, every day. Okay, that was my number one motivating thing towards building XGU. I'm tired of creating download links. I'm tired of uploading things up and down continuously. I just want to put it all here. I want you to be able to click on this link here and you can access it. Have at it. I don't care. Because XGU is literally just my personal library shared to the world. I just happen to figure out how to organize it in such a way so that, you can generally access most released content, and then if it's content that I gotta come out of my pocket for, well, you should subscribe so you can get access to that same content. You can't beat $8 a month for accessing shit that's gonna cost you upwards towards $1,000 to get all at once.
Right.
You just can't beat that. It's the same thing as paying for Apple Music. There's no reason. I don't get it how people don't like paying the $7 to $12 to a music subscription when you literally have access to millions of musical material at your disposal for a small fee. When had that not been created, you'd be paying $1 per song if it's under 10 minutes. If it's over 10 minutes, they upward charge it to $2 a minute after that, which means you can be paying somewhere towards $1 to $5 per song. If I wanted to download the entire Lil Wayne archive right now, it would probably cost me $500 if we go based off of that logic. Because I got over 1,000 Lil Wayne songs. I got Lil Wayne's entire discography. And I bet you if I was an asshole, if I was somebody at Apple and I wanted to redistribute all of that shit and make a profit off of it, I tell you, if I multiply the number of Lil Wayne fans times the number that I can charge people to access that entire thing, I would be rich. So, yeah. First step, investments.
Got you.
Investment brings you to developers. Developers brings you to the custom platform you want. Custom platform will allow you to further negotiate how you want to break things off.
Got you. So what we're gonna do is right now, because I'm getting people saying that they hear clicking, so I'm gonna try to figure this out. We're gonna get back to some music for a little bit, and I'm gonna come back with K-Smoove. Deuce 9 is on his way. He just actually hit me up on the DM, just telling me he's on his way. So we're gonna try to see. I'm gonna see what this clicking is. I didn't hear it just now. I think I got better because I pushed some chords in or something. I don't know. I'm new to this, so yeah, man. But yeah, you know where you at. Robot Lady, holla at these people for me.
You are now tuned into the Cranked Out Go-Go Happy Hour. Hosted by Hollywood Mike T.
Mike T, Mike T, Mike T.
Yes, y'all. Yes, sir. It's your boy Hollywood Mike T, and we are back in the Cranked Out GoGo Happy Hour. Well, we're in the Cranked Out GoGo Happy Hour, and I have my special guest, K-Smoove here. We have Deuce 9 is coming as well. He's on his way up here. He was getting off work late, so K-Smoove was already coming up here anyway. So we continue this conversation with K-Smoove, but I want to switch it up a little bit, and I want to talk about. So I want to focus on two things right now. First of which, I want you to talk about your opinion and what you feel where GoGo is right now. That's the first question.
Okay.
The second question is, based on what you say, what do you think we can improve to get to a point where it can be better? If you don't think it's in a good place right now. So it's a two-part question based on your answer. But go ahead with the first one.
Okay. I honestly think GoGo is in a confused stalemate. And by confused stalemate, I mean it's been 20 years since the next best hot thing has came out, right? Because if you think about the progression of GoGo, 70s, real fast, funky. You want to say in the 80s that the Pocket Beat came out, right? In the 90s, you started getting your break beats, and then 2000s, you have bounce beat. There hasn't been anything since. So everyone's trying to figure out, okay, is there something new to GoGo that's going to come out? Is somebody going to change, how GoGo is played, or are we going to continue to go here? I honestly don't think anything new needs to happen in terms of, the formula of how GoGo is played far as the beats are concerned. I think that if anything, GoGo needs to probably take a step back and reevaluate its creativity. Especially, I can't say just the younger bands, because the older bands are doing it too. It's a lot of taking from the radio, or as one of my mentors would love to say, it's too much biting of the radio dick. And so what we find ourselves doing is there's a hot song that comes out. Everybody wants to hear a hot song, right? So what do? Listen to the hot song. We're either going to sample it, or we're going to find some way to incorporate a hook from it, the bridge, the chorus, whatever that is, selling off the cakes, and incorporate it in our song, because we gotta be the first band to hit it, right? And we gotta be the first band to put it out. In fact, it doesn't matter who the first band to hit it is, because a band can hit the song the same day, but if you aren't the first person to release it and be cranking at doing it, it's not going to sell well. And I think we need to get away from that. I think folks need to go back to making original music, because at the end of the day, the number one question is always going to be, why isn't GoGo national? And, outside of the business being janky, the music is also messed up. You can't go, if let's say I am a big PR, H&R representative for a big music label company, right? And I am interested in GoGo, and I want to pull a band out of GoGo because I want this music festival that I'm about to put on to experience GoGo. But I pull your band out, and instead of giving me a half hour to an hour of full, originality, like, yes, this is really the sound of DC, instead, you give me a whole hour of cover songs. Okay? And not to get it twisted, because I think people's ideas of what a cover song is completely construed. Let me explain to y'all what a damn cover song is. Anytime that you are incorporating somebody else's song, whether it's via sample, whether you've used just one part of the lyric, or you've used the entire song, it is a cover song. If you look up the licensing for this type of stuff, look at ISRC codes. The mechanical license is what covers and authorizes you to use a cover song in your released music. You cannot go to a music festival covering somebody else's songs for a whole half hour. That's not how this works. You're supposed to have your own set list of original stuff, and then you come in, hey, I just want to dedicate this song to so-and-so because, they're so inspirational and great to me. And so, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to cover this song. And everybody's going to be like, oh my gosh, this is like the best cover I've heard of this song ever. They're not going to do that if you spend the whole half hour doing cover songs. It's just not going to happen. I mean, I cannot say that I do not prefer the go-go versions of songs. Okay. But we are not going to get anywhere playing cover songs all night. And let me part two to my part one. The business has to get better. I believe a lot of bands and people who are providing services in GoGo are short serving themselves, okay? And honestly, it's what gets us in a ruck of, creating air quote bad business. And when business gets bad, people don't want to work with you. Okay. And, I understand the concept of, and I see this a lot on my timeline, niggas out here, air quote, riding skinny, or niggas is being skinny. They don't want to pay this and pay that. But it's just like, are you paying your dues too? Because if you think about it, if I were to call, I can't even say what a non-house name is. Let's say I want to have a concert with the internet, right? I'm pretty sure the internet is going to require me to pay them at least a couple thousand just off the top of their head, just because who they are, okay? And then they're going to make sure that their venue has enough room to handle their fans. They're probably going to want room for their entourage. They want certain sound equipment. They want certain musical equipment on stage. They want lights. They want not steam. What do we call those things?
Smoke.
Yeah, they want smoke. They want all that stuff. And see, now you have to factor that into your cost of booking the band, right? Because the band itself is, $6K off the top. Then you got to put in all those other cost factors. Oh, by the way, you got to have liability insurance, because if something happens at your event and somebody gets hurt, guess who's going to pay for it? The people throwing the event. Let's say something gets damaged at the venue. Guess who got to pay for it? The people throwing the event. We don't think about that in GoGo. You know what I'm saying? I've run my own show before. I ran my own show in Baltimore. I ran my own show in DC. Off the minimum, I tell folks when they're trying to do their own show, I was just like, you need to just go ahead and have $2,000 off the rip. $2,000. Why $2,000? Number one, sound is going to cost you at least $600 off the rip. This is good sound.
Quality sound, yeah.
This is non-negotiable. $600 minimum. And I'm talking about, this is you getting probably 2 high packs and 2 subs. You're going to have probably at least 6 monitors. It will probably get you backline. I can't say about what type of PA board is going to be and whether you're going to have a separate monitor board or you're going to have just a all in one front of house and monitor board. But either way, $600 should be your minimum budget. The next thing you need to be concerned about is putting a down payment down for your venue, right? Because you're renting the venue. And you got to figure out how you're going to split that revenue with the venue. Let's say you're doing it at a bar, right? Most times, from my experience, is, okay, we're going to do 60-40 at the door, and the bar keeps all the money. Why? Because it's my damn bar. I'm the one selling alcohol. I want all the profits from it. You're not the reason why they're drinking alcohol. They're drinking alcohol because I'm providing it to them. Okay? And then security. Security is very, muy importante, because if a fight happens, you don't got security there to break it up. Guess who's going to break it up for you? Whoever the governing police authority of that area is. And if the police got to come in, they're going to shut your shit down. There goes your profits for the rest of the night. And then you need to factor in the cost of promotion. Spamming your flyer up and down on Instagram is not promotion. Posting it up and down the timelines is not promotion. I don't know where the hell y'all got this from. Maybe y'all got this from XIB when they was doing it, but that's not promotion. The reason why you seen XIB so much is because it wasn't because one person was flooding up and down timelines. They had the entire Sweezy gang posting the same thing at the same time, so that was all you saw. And that being all you saw, you was like, hey, bro, you see this lineup right here? I keep seeing it. Oh, my gosh, this shit's going to be lit, or this joint going to be popping. So what you going to do? You're going to share it. And your friends who like the same thing that you do on the lineup are going to share it. And that's what creates a buzz. You got to have a marketing plan. And marketing plans is going to cost you money.
I hate to cut you off because my mom tunes into this show. And that's what I always had to explain to my mom. My mom, since I started this show, she looks at my numbers. She's a number person. And I don't get the numbers that the DJ Ricos get and things of that nature. Now, my quality and my content is up to par with them. Because I interviewing you, interview shooters, interview Rob. I can announce I got Killer Cow coming. So that's a big one. So I'm up there with them as far as the caliber. But I don't have the following that they have, you know, and because I'm the only one that promotes my show, it only looks like I'm just promoting my show for attention instead of it being a group of people. Like if I told my mom, if 10 people start sharing my show a day, I guarantee you my numbers would get up there. But if it's only me doing it, like you just said with XIB, if it's just me promoting my show, no one's going to tune into my show because it doesn't look like a big deal. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like the shooters interview yesterday, I listened to it 3 times so far. Everybody's been hitting me up. My supervisor heard about that interview yesterday. And to me, it was great. A lot of people didn't hear it, but... What?
Check your phone.
Okay. A lot of people didn't hear it, but yeah, man. It's just great, man. It's just great because I don't know, man. It's just great. So I say to you, yeah, I just want to say that part. I agree with you as far as group promoting. Yeah. But go ahead.
You got to.
Go ahead.
So you gotta have a budget for a marketing scheme. I mean, it costs $15 to put a promotional outreach of 3,000 people for a certain amount of days on Instagram. Okay, and that's just reaching out to folks who probably have like-minded interests as you. Okay, $15. So if you make it so that everybody who is in your band transforms their Instagram page into a business page, and everybody puts in $15 to market their posts outside of what their usual following is, you profit. Because that's the number one thing. Before any of all this, before throwing shows, before getting your business right, people aren't investing in themselves. I've seen it time and time and again. You know what I'm saying? I find it no reason why 12 grown men cannot come up with the money to cover a practice. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand how 12 grown men cannot come up with the money to pay a sound man. I don't understand how 12 grown men cannot come up with the money. I mean, throwing shows, right? The great thing about getting called on for a show is you probably don't got to pay anything except for your sound man because you're getting paid for it, right? But you're going to see more money if you put in the upfront work yourself. Yes, it's going to cost more upfront, but that also means that whatever profit comes at the end of the night is you and your band who's seeing that profit and not the promoter. Because my thing is, y'all keep bringing in all these new promoters into the game, right? Who are these people? What were they doing before they were promoters?
Right.
Why can't you throw your own event? You know what I'm saying? And if it's because of an air quote record that you have, get somebody who's in the band who don't got the record and make the shits happen. You know what I'm saying? Or it's been discussed all this week, right? Brand your band into a LLC and get a business loan. You know what I'm saying? Whoever got the best credit in the band going to have to take that hit, but make sure that y'all stay on top of the payments and shit. A $10,000 loan will go a long way for a band. You know what I can do with $10,000 for my band? Number one, everybody is getting new equipment. That's the first thing. And I'm not talking about I'm just getting a drum set for my drummer, new timbales, dedicated congos for my congo player, keyboard, bass. No, I'm talking about we getting all the amp cords in the world. We getting all power cables. We getting surge protectors. We getting drum keys, drum heads, drumsticks, and shit. After that, I want my front line to have their own mics. The first thing I did when I got Ambition is I got the entire front line their own mics. Everybody in my front line has their own mic with their name on it, and nobody else uses that microphone. That is how I get the same sound out of Ambition every single time they perform. Everywhere we go, we use the same vocal mics. Everywhere we go, I use the same percussion mics. Everywhere we go. Because I can at least manipulate that part of the sound. But that's part of investing in yourself. My band wants to stop having a loud ass stage, right? You know, the one way to cut down stage volume is get rid of some monitors. Well, how are we going to hear ourselves? Invest in some in-ear monitors. Well, how the hell do we get that set up? Easy. You might eventually have to start bringing your own sound system like they used to do with Treble Funk, EU, and Essence. You know what I'm saying? At least get to a point where you can have your own monitoring rig, because all you need really is an X32 rack and a whole bunch of in-ear monitors. You run that thing. It don't have to be wireless, because who's paying $700 for a receiver and transmitter per person? I'm not. But what you can do is you get the wire joints. Yes, you're going to have a lot of wires around the stage, but y'all motherfuckers need to stop moving around so much. You got the one wire hanging off you. You bring your own headphones. You clip in. You tell the sound man what you want to hear. You build that into a template. And every time you perform, that's what you want to hear. Stage volume automatically comes down. No more. Every time you get close. All that disappears because it's all in your ears. You don't got to worry about that. That's the little stuff. That's investing into yourself. Or even like, let's say folks never got anywhere to play or anywhere to practice at a studio, right? $10,000 loan, why don't you rent out, part of a building? Don't do an apartment complex. I don't know why anybody would do an apartment complex, but like there's a whole lot of factories that got like empty tenants and stuff. There's a whole lot of buildings around here that get empty tenants. Take that $10,000, build up the get the rent. What you do, hire a consultant in the game who knows what they're doing. Hire Doug. Doug does sound installs for a living. He knows how to soundproof rooms. Shit. Hire Rio. Rio probably do it for you if you give him the right amount of money, Build your own studio. And then what you do, you can practice all you want when you want. And if you want to make a profit out of it, you hire somebody to run the studio for you. And you put the people in the room that's not y'all, so people not breaking up your equipment. And you start making profit off your own studio. You remember when TCB had their own studio?
Okay, so we had our own studio twice.
Oh, y'all did?
New Vision had our own studio. We had our own studio. We came in the gate. That's why a lot of people, of course, didn't like us, because they thought, we just had everything handed to us. Mm-hmm. But we did come in the gate with our own studio. Carter had his own studio off Bucks. You know what I'm saying? When I was with High Gravity, like I was explaining to you earlier, my first band, what we did when we was young and dumb. Mm-hmm. So there was a Chuck Levins. You know what Chuck Levins is? Yep. There was a store right behind Chuck Levins that Chuck Levins sub-owned. Mm-hmm. Their partnership, it was called Wheaton Music. Mm-hmm. And they rented sound systems and all that type of stuff. So what High Gravity would do every weekend, the people that, like you said, people that worked in the band, myself, who Feel the Future is, or Felipe Dro, he was my second mic in that band. Yeah, Deuce 9 was our Congo player in that band. Okay. So we would take our money, me and Felipe Dro, we would take our money, put it together, rent the sound system for whatever we can get,
Right.
reasonable price, get all the mics. I mean, we mic'd everything.
Right.
And vocal mics, everything. We were rented for a weekend. Well, one weekend, they didn't tell anybody they was going out of business. We rented it on a Friday. They went out of business that Monday.
Damn.
So for, when I say at least 8 months, no one contacted us. So we just had it.
Damn.
So whenever, and we used to practice in my aunt's basement. Because she had a big basement. So for 8 months, that's how we just came out with all of our songs. Because whenever we was alone, I lived with my aunt at the time. But whenever we just wanted to go, we just wanted to play, we just would go down in the basement and just be, you know what I'm saying? My cousin's house was the house like everyone chilled at. If you're from Montgomery County, you know about my cousin Trey house. You know what I'm saying? So, and the thing with that band was everybody in that band went to a different Montgomery County school. So it was 12 different schools in like one band. So we would just be, it would be basically a party every day pretty much at the house anyway.
Right.
But now we got the equipment, so we could just go down that joint and make a song whenever we felt like it.
Right.
We would, you know, we didn't know much, but we know a little bit. We put mattresses over the windows as soundproof. And like you said, that's what we did. We invested in ourselves. Then later on, they hit us up. Eventually, they found us. And they was like, yeah, we need our stuff back. And we was like, all right, cool. By that time, we got a sound man. Our sound man had 2 different sound systems. He had the big one, the Rio system, and he had a system that he could pack up in his truck and bring.
Gotcha.
So we would pay him for shows, but we would overpay him for shows. So like if he charged us $125, we'd give him $175.
Okay.
He'd leave the system over my cousin's house, same like we rented it. So that's how. So I said all that to say, I posted, you know, on This Week in Facebook, and I said in 2020, you know, what you said, get together, get your bands, get together, buy a club if you can, or at least if you can't buy a club, rent you know, rent a property, get a property, rent that property. Start investing in yourself. Get a studio. Get your own studio if you can. Partner up with some other bands. I mean, to me personally, and if you touched on it, I feel as though the business side has always been the issue. That's the only reason why GoGo is still here to me. I don't believe the music is, because a lot of people say covers, and we play it, and a lot of GoGo bands, we play a lot of other people's music. But if you think about it, most of the hit songs in the last 10 years have kind of been original. If you think about it, Sexy Lady, whether they sampled the the song is original.
Right.
From that point, other than that, they sampled it. But other artists have been sampling too, like Diddy. Diddy made a hit song by saying, the Puff drives the 80s, yeah, take hits from the 80s, make them sound so crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's always been that in music. And I think with GoGo and people that don't know what they're talking about, they make it seem like we do it and that's how we profit. But no, Doing the Butt was a single. Titty Ball by Junkyard. Loose Booty by Junkyard. The Dipper by Backyard. Fish Fry by Backyard. Moving Up to Shake It Out by Raw Image. That's nobody's song. TCB kind of, you know what I'm saying? They got some Ice Cream Girls original.
Was an Ass Clap original?
No.
Oh, excuse me.
That's from Project Pat. Yeah.
Well.
But no, the original Ass Clap is not original. From there, it became original. Gotcha. They weren't, they don't use hooks from other songs anymore in the Ass Clap. When they first got the Make That Clap, Make That, you know what I'm saying? That comes from Project Pat.
Gotcha.
But then after that, 04, 06, 08, you know what I'm saying, and on, they became original. Gotcha. So bands have had original songs, shoot New Impressions. I mean, Statement to the Game is amazing body of work. I just think that people get too tied into it. The way I compare what GoGo does to the traditional music is our CDs are our mixtapes.
Yep.
Our live shows are our mixtapes. As opposed to them, when the regular artists, they record.
Right.
So for us, that's how we eat from performing.
Yep.
And I think that, me personally, I think that the real reason is the business side, because no label is going to pay us all that money, and it's 12 people.
Right.
Like, you have to look how music has gone from when the 70s and the 60s and 70s, when there was groups, Temptations, Jackson 5, Isleys, Delphonics, Earth, Wind and Fire, all them groups. 80s, the groups started getting smaller. Because back in the 70s, the groups were like 18 people. And then when you get to the 80s, the groups started getting smaller. Then when you get to the 90s, the group gets even smaller. Now there's 3 people groups, there's 4 people groups. And by the time it got to the 2000s, everybody saw this cassette like, we saw Michael Jackson leave. We saw Bobby Brown leave. We saw Johnny Gill leave from the same group. We saw, once Beyonce did it,
oh yeah, everybody.
And nobody wants to be in a group no more. So if it makes no sense for a label to come to DC and say, hey, I want to sign Backyard. Back then it did, you know what I'm saying? In 2000s,
Right.
early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, it made sense. But now I can get Quavo to do the bounce beat if I really wanted him to.
So question,
Yes.
why doesn't GoGo have its own label?
We do.
We do?
We have multiple labels. You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a GoGo label.
Yeah, but I mean, Backyard was in the Backyard. See, okay, when people say nationwide push, it did happen. We had nationwide pushes before. We had bands that's gone nationwide. Of course, we already talked about Junkyard with Def Jam.
Yeah.
Of course, we know Red Essence. Of course, they did theirs. With Work the Walls, they was. I remember I seen Work the Walls on BET. The video, they had a video for that joint. Backyard moving up the ladder. Backyard had Hood Related. Hood Related made it to 46 on the Billboard charts. And that was, I don't remember the name of the label they was with, but everyone, Bag of Beats is a label. I don't know if you remember Bag of Beats. Bag of Beats distributed UCB CDs and they distributed Fatal CDs. Kato, he's in one of those GoGo groups that we all in. But Kato Hammond,
Yep.
he used to, I don't know if he still owns Bag of Beats, but he was a part of Bag of Beats. So they were a label. Who else was a label? I forgot. TCB had their own label. I know when Polo was around, they had their own label, and I know now they have their own label as well with Bounce Beat Records. But bands have had labels. Bands have been approached to be at labels. Matter of fact, when in 2000, I want to say it was when was the GoGo Live? 2004. It was 2004. I was there at the DC Army when it was UCB, TCB, Raw Image, Backyard. They did an interview the night before where Polo, Mikey, Big Six, Big G were all at 93.9. And they was promoting the show pretty much, trying to sell tickets for the show. 50 Cent headlined that show, actually. It was a wild story, but we'll never get into that. But at the time, GoGo was hot at the time. TCB was right here. UCB was right here. Raw Image was right here. And Backyard was right here. That day took it from what I just told you what TCB was. TCB went. UCB stayed. Raw Image stayed. TCB went. Now I said that to say that night, that Saturday, they was all on TV. I mean on the 93.9, and G, all them talking. They was all supposed to be on the wire. G, Rock Mikey, Polo, Big G, and Six as well. They all was talking about being on the wire. They all was talking about being signed. I remember at that time period, UCB was talking to Rockefeller. I know for a fact that's true because I heard the voice messages. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
From because Carter, Carter was UCB manager. Raw Image was messing with Chopper City. BG ended up getting locked up. Backyard was talking to Bad Boy, I think. Polo was the only one that had the vision to say, I'm going to stay independent. You know what I'm saying? So it's always been labels. It's always been business that could have been done. At that point in time, that was the time where the business was done correctly. It's just that nobody could figure out the money. Because how do you pay all those people? Think about it. For like you broke down everything, and so I'm gonna break it down even further from being in the band. If you go on tour, you gotta pay for a tour bus.
Yep.
It has to be 2 or 3. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
If Lil Wayne has 2 buses, how you gonna tell me a band
Ain't gonna have one bus? Yep.
New Edition all had 6. That's what they spent so much money on. They had 6 separate buses, and they had a group of 6 people. They could have went on one bus.
Yep.
So for a go-go band, you have to think like it's got to be at least 4 or 5 buses. Okay, that's already an expense that no one wants to pay.
Yep.
And most times when you're with the label, if you do the right deal, if you don't do a 360 deal, you're paying for your own tour. So the money you're paying out your own pockets for that. So boom, go on tour. You got your 6 buses. The sound system for that show is not the same sound system it would be for just one rapper.
Right.
If it's one rapper, all you got to do is set up maybe 2 mics because he got a hype man.
Yep.
Get your speakers, get your setup. That's it. So you don't really have to pay the overhead for the setup people and things of that nature. You put in the band, you got drums, congos, rototoms, cymbals.
Yep.
Because you know when the band is going to tour, they're going to show off.
Yep.
Okay. You got your keyboards. So we can talk about keyboard monitor, congo monitor. If you're on tour, probably you're going fancy, so you need a timbali monitor too.
Yep.
Drum monitor, guitar monitors,
Yep.
frontline monitors.
You know,
That's every night.
You know, Frontline want to be fancy, so they want in-ear mics.
They want wireless mics. And if you're on tour, you've seen Snoop with a gold mic. So I want a silver one.
Yep.
You know? So that's another expense. Hotels
Yep.
for 12 people.
And their entourage.
Because you know, depending on the band, I would give some bands this. Depending on the band, I think some bands would get it right as far as touring small. New Impressions is one of them. Because I know when we were younger and we were doing out of town shows, they travel well. I say that. So I don't think they would have the big entourage. However, certain bands will have 12 band members, 30 entourage members.
Well,
So boom. Then you gotta pay for food.
yo, there it is right there.
I thought it was when we first started with the buses. Your whole budget is gone unless you and then for it to work now, especially now, you would have to stream like Tekashi
Yeah.
to make some money. Like it could work if a band streamed like that. You know what I'm saying? If a band streamed like an Adele, or if they made enough money from streaming to fund themselves, it could work. But we're so wrapped up in staying here that we don't even use the simplest tricks in the book, like hashtags when we post stuff.
Yep.
We just post it.
So the number one question I've gotten with streams, right? How do we put it behind the paywall? Easy. Stop streaming. Do everything post-production. Put it behind the paywall like OnlyFans. Because OnlyFans is not only for sexual endeavors and things of that nature. Shoot, you can use Patreon.
OnlyFans just got shut down.
Oh, it did?
Or the payments got shut down because they weren't paying taxes.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Yeah, I just found that out yesterday, I believe.
Wow.
Somebody was telling me about it. I was like, wait, what?
I blame Ruby Rose, but that's a whole different conversation.
No, not the content people. Not the performers.
I know.
The actual site
I
wasn't
know.
paying taxes.
Because
Yeah.
you out here making all this money and distributing it out, and you not taking care of what needs to be taken care of. Yeah, I know. But sites like that, I mean,
Could work.
I mean, of course, okay, putting Cash App inside of your video, I mean, it helps, but that gives people the option to pay versus forcing you to pay. You know what I'm saying? It's like running pay-per-view. You can't watch stuff on pay-per-view for free. You gotta pay for it.
Right.
So why not, if you're going to do this streaming thing and you're going to do it right, and you know your fans fuck with you because they want to pay the $20 to go see you, like the folks who's probably going out the hashtag night, why not make it so that the profits come directly to you?
Who's that hashtag night?
I think TCB was there last night, so I couldn't tell you he was there tonight. I know somebody's playing the hashtag.
Oh, High Quality's there tonight.
High Quality's playing tonight?
High Quality's there. I think Full Bump.
Oh, that show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that show.
Gotcha.
But yeah, man. I mean, I
You know what? You just gave me an idea.
So okay. So here's another thing that I had planned that I didn't. It never happened. But so we did. Matter of fact, I reached out to y'all when the pandemic happened in the live stream when they was doing the versus battles. Mm-hmm. I jumped on that early. We and Kendall did ours. Mm-hmm. So if you remember, I was planning a whole day of battles, like a regular go, like a 20 for 20.
Right.
I forgot who I had y'all against. I don't remember, but I know I had y'all against somebody, and y'all was like, okay, cool. Most of the bands were cool about it. But the way I was going to do it was I was going to do it on YouTube. Mm-hmm. However, it was going to be private. Mm-hmm. So you have the Cash App, either the bands directly, and it was only going to be $5.
Right.
You get these. The bands aren't playing. So what?
Right.
It's a versus battle. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's together. Blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. And I don't think bands got it, man. I don't think they was getting the concept. Like a couple of bands was cool with it. Mm-hmm. A couple of big bands were cool with it. You know. Right. But that's when everybody started going separate ways and stuff like that. But I don't think that people got the concept of, yo, we can be getting paid to not be playing.
Yeah. Is that, or, again, just put it behind the paywall. It is nothing to build a website where in order for you to access this page, you have to pay. That's easy work. Like, I don't understand how people can't, But that's besides the point. Back to, figures, right?
Right.
Shoot. Once you get past tour busing and all that stuff.
We already looked at $1 million.
Yeah.
We looked at $1 million tour.
Then you gotta remember liability insurance. Cause I used to work in the civil government with Bowie State, right? And Bowie, I don't know if people know this or not, but there was a time Bowie State had a ban on GoGo bands on campus.
Yeah, we was one of them.
Because of the liability.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember when they first tried it, they wanted to book a band like AJA, right? First thing they told AJA is you need to have $1 million liability insurance policy. And AJA is just looking just bug-eyed like, huh? What?
They did that because the Yard Fest I guess it's called Yard Fest, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say the band. I was there, but it was a band that made everything go crazy, crazy, and again. We looking at least now. You just said $1 million liability just for Bowie, so now we're looking at $2 million maybe for just a GoGo tour. And let's throw this in: if a band is gonna go nationwide and tour. You can't go by yourself.
No, you gotta bring somebody with you. You gotta have the opening act.
It's not gonna happen. It's maybe Backyard can do it by themselves. Mm-hmm. I know people probably will be like, well, damn. So TCB Backyard, I think only can do it by themselves, and I think because of G's known, he's known other places that they can pull it off if they wanted to do it. But I think that their ship sailed because of their age.
Yeah. I mean, people are going to still come out to see them regardless, but I can see what you mean. So here's my thing. If you're going to do a tour, you can still do it locally, right? I mean, you don't have to travel the entire country to do a tour. You can do a local tour. But my thing will go.
Bands have done that too, though.
Oh, no. It is cash transactions.
Right.
Cash is cool and all, but cash also can go under the table. You can't track that.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And so when you start getting those cut lines and you start letting people in from the back, that's when things start getting messy, right? I'll never forget the time when I first learned about Eventbrite. I was like, this is the most beautiful thing I have ever stumbled upon. Because it puts everything into the user's hands. All you have to do is generate the event, put in the little code, and then boom. When people want to purchase a ticket, the ticket goes directly onto their phone. You show up to the event, you got the scanner, you scan, boom, you're in. And what you do, and this is what I like about the Echo Stage events. You first open it up, I would do it 60 days in advance. Max 60. You should do this 60 days out. You sell tickets at their cheapest. Start at $20 to $25 a person. 30 days later, bump it up. 35. As you start getting closer and closer to the event, day of, at this point, you know what I'm saying, we're supposedly at maximum capacity.
Right.
And it's a safety concern if I let you in here.
Right.
But you know, I'm sure there's somebody who's going to leave after one band's performance, and so
Right.
that's going to allow some people to come in. But I got to hit you on the head for waiting till now to get a ticket.
Right.
But see, now what you've done at that point is I now have obtainable metrics. This is how many tickets we sold. And I can create ticket generation links, and I can do metrics based off of who has what links. So now I can immediately know who is selling what tickets and who should get what type of profit based off of their ticket sales. At the end of the day, everybody eats. I believe we should not be doing that at just your Echo Stages.
You think that every club should have a system like that?
Yes.
Or every GoGo should have a system like
Every
that?
show, because it's no reason why we're not taking advantage of the technology.
Or the metrics.
Yeah, because then you really know
Who's really bringing news?
not only who's bringing new, but how many people you really had in there.
That was the problem with the past. The past, it used to be the headline. Well, once GoGo went to the 4-band format, and you have your G's nightclub, and you have your reaction, your new impressions, your new vision, your I-9. Or the other lineup of 5 of us, with phase 2 was in the middle. You never, reaction would take the credit for it, but all of us contributed to it. You know what I'm saying? So how the money got broke down, you never knew because there was no metrics. Like the only metric was it's 300 people in here.
Yep.
But there's no metric the value to see who's here to see who, because it really does, that does matter. I think that a lot of times we put too much stock in GoGo who's headliner.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's really the other bands that support the shows.
Yep.
You know, and that don't get paid. A lot of these, this is a question I want to ask you, because I'm not active as far as being in a band. I haven't been active being in a band in years. So I don't know how it goes as far as the money goes. I know when I was active, if I was smart enough, I could have lived off of GoGo.
Yep.
You know, I was making, New Vision was making that much money, and we weren't even on all the shows.
Right.
Mr. Carter used to say it's not about the bright show, it's about the right show. That was the logic we lived off of. And we would get on those shows where we getting paid for monthly. We're making the same thing that people were paying, that were playing 30 times a month. We're getting. Just off of 5. We played 7 shows a month. They played 30. We still ended up getting the same thing. So where do you see the money at now? Because I see people flashy. As a matter of fact, in this era of GoGo now, I see more people flashy than in our era.
Yep.
You know, so what do you is the money an issue anymore?
I say money is in the issue of people not wanting to pay their dues. Okay, because it's hard to gauge how much you are worth without the proper metrics, right? If let's say we got our full bumps, right? It is statistically proven based off of how often you are to GoGo. You can tell that the full bump brings out a crowd every time they're with them. You can't accurately count the crowd because half of the crowd is going to stay for the whole show, and then the other part of the crowd is going to leave. This is the best part about taking advantage of technology, right? It would be better instead of guesstimating or being like, okay, well, based off of how much money we generated tonight, this is the price that we agreed upon when we booked you. Here's your cut. But what if we've done more than was what I cut? Now you short me out of potential money that I don't know about. At that point, you're money laundering.
Right.
That's where contracts need to start coming into play.
So you think contracts are big?
Oh, dude. I learned a lesson this week. I need to start pulling my contracts back out.
Bro.
And not only just having a contract that has everything written in it, upfront deposits. Not wait until the night of. Upfront deposits. I told my band this week. From now on, I want a contract every show, and I want 40% up front. Because at least that way, if the show flops, and we come up there and we done wasted our time, gas, whatever, to get up there and play, and it didn't do whatever, we at least got something out of it versus, nah, bro, we just ain't do it this time.
Yeah, that's and I the shows that I played on where we've had contracts, I've gotten paid the most money, and I didn't have to worry about a darn thing.
Yeah, because it's guaranteed.
Right, so it's guaranteed. But let me play devil's advocate and ask you this.
Shoot.
In every other genre, okay, not even genre, in any other thing in the world, because I no one ever would convince me of this. I would never change my mindset on this.
Okay.
Anybody else that provides a service and anything else in the world, they get paid for. Why is it in GoGo we always say stuff like you said earlier? And I think that you might have said it just because you've been in GoGo for so long, so your mindset is that as well. Why do we have to pay our dues? Why can't, even if you're the opening act, I get that you may not, you know what I'm saying, you might not bring a whole bunch of people. And that's cool. Maybe you might not get paid. Or, yeah, maybe you might not get any money. Maybe your situation is, if you're the opening band and you bring nobody, then maybe you just don't get paid for that show. However,
most time you sounds getting paid.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of times it isn't though. Depending on the level of who you are.
Right.
At MTM, if they open up a show, that sound is getting paid. We know that.
Right.
T.O.B. open up a show. I mean, we know they're getting paid. Well, that was a bad example.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
But see,
but what I'm saying is, why is it in GoGo, for some reason, we seclude ourselves to levels? Like, for me, and myself, shooters, and Rob, we all said the same thing. Like, how can you be doing the same thing I'm doing and tell me I'm mid-level? And I'm doing the same thing that you're doing. Like, I don't want to keep using New Vision as an example, so I'll use another band as an example. ABM will have a show at the Den, and it'll be packed. Reaction have a show at the Thai Seafood, packed. Two bands have 2 packed shows, same amount of people in both shows. How is one band mid-level and how is one band headlining when they both headline? Like, why do we limit ourselves and do that? Like, there's no such thing. There's only only thing that in rap is up and coming rappers, and then after you've been out for a while, you're a rapper. And GoGo, you were up and coming, you're mid-level.
And you're a headliner. But that only exists in bounce beat. Because in the growing and cranking circuit, you're an up and coming band or you're a band, right? But I think the levels didn't come into play until the 20 for 20s, right? All the levels is a different classification of an A-list, B-list, and C-list band. And, I think each level is based off of a certain requirement that you meet, okay? A C-list level band is the opening band. It's the band that probably don't got as much pull. They haven't been in the game as long, and their musical ability isn't as latent as a band that's been in the game longer than they have. And there's some C-list bands that could, if they tap into that potential more, be better than an A-list band. But they're not there yet, and that's where that limitation is. It's all, to me, it's all sociological and psychological classifications.
But are we classifying them because by their music and their crank? Or we classify because okay, I'm just gonna say it.
Shoot.
Who the hell determines that?
Fans.
The fans? No, they don't. No, they don't.
I know.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
It
no, they don't.
should be the fans.
I'm about to say, it's not determined by the fans. Because if you put it in the mindset of the fan, who wants to be the first person at a club? Nobody want to be the first person at a club. Like, I used to be that person. That's how I gained my GoGo Connects. Because I swear, and I don't know if Deuce 9 is going to make it or not, but he will tell you, UCB used to play in the Millennium Club, Langley Park, every Monday. 2002 and 2003. This is how wet behind the ears I was. I used to call the UCB hotline. That's another thing that bands need to bring back. They had hotlines. UCB had a hotline. I know. Remember the number in the back of my hand: 202-829-1994. I would call it. I would see what they playing, or hear what they playing, and I would go. On the hotline, it said everybody free before 10 o'clock. So, but I didn't know the catch was you had to have a flyer. So I would just show up. After a while, Carter was like, man, you ain't got to come at 10 o'clock, bro. You can just come. I'll let you, whatever time you come, you're a supporter, I'll let you in for free. Don't worry about coming when the door's open, all right? I got you. Don't worry about it. That's how me and him gave the relationship. But no one goes to the club on time. Nope. Like, even if you put a show together where you put TCB, Junkyard, and Backyard.
Nobody's showing up till 1 o'clock.
Thank you. So, how is it fair, unless we putting it in crank-wise, how is it fair to determine who's who?
It's based off of how much money I'm willing to put into you. You know what I'm saying? And it's all about calculation, guesstimations, and risk, right? I know because you are a newer band that for certain you do not have the same pull as this band that I know who has proven it over and over again that is going to generate this amount of income just by their name being on the flyer, right? I think that's how it's based on. Meanwhile, your B-list level bands is just like, I've seen you done it before, but you're not as consistent as the A-level bands. Because I know if I put this A-level band on here, I don't gotta do shit else. For real, the only reason why I got an opening band is because I know the A-list band don't want to play early. They want to play late because I'm pre-gaming. So what do I got to put in there to take up that time? I got to put in a C-list or a B-list level band because they have no choice but to play at that time because A-list level band is headlining. It's just that way in the music industry, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to have Adele fucking headlining Beyonce. People will real live have a shootout over that. Like, you're not going to put Adele over Beyonce, even though, you know, good and well, Adele can probably bust Beyonce's pipes. But the type of pull that Beyonce has, I know for sure, just by putting Beyonce on there, I'm going to generate this much revenue. So I know guaranteed for a fact I'm going to make this profit. That is why they are the headliner. Adele now is at that point. Yes, she is guaranteed. But when she first came out, you did not have that, you know, that metric. It wasn't proven. It wasn't guaranteed that because she's on here, I'm going to make this. So that's what they do. You're not guaranteed to make this amount, so you have to open up because I need to see what you're going to do. And if I fuck with you, I'm going to keep on bringing you on. But then the whole compensation thing starts getting wonky because most of the time it's either you're paying for free, you're playing for free, you have to pay to play,
right? That's
or
what I'm. That's what
the
that's
sound got to get covered. And see, this is the
Yes.
one thing I will never understand, and this is the one thing I did not like when I was managing an up and coming band. I don't want my sound paid for. I don't. You want to know why? Because what you are willing to pay for and what he's charging are two different numbers. Okay? I'd rather pay my sound man because that is the transaction, that is the deal, that is a service he is providing to me. I know at the end of the day, he's going to provide the service that I want him to provide because I paid him, not you. So what happens is you start building bad business off buck as a seamless band because so-and-so is supposed to be paying the sound man, and here it is, the end of our set, sound man still hasn't been paid. You with so-and-so is nowhere to be found. Now the sound man is crossing me because he's looking for his money, and you're just like, dude, what the fuck? Now I got to come out of my pocket. It's you've already started. You've already been brought in on bad business. Why not start on the right foot? Pay your sound man. That way, at least your sound man, you and your sound man have that relationship. Okay, I know at the end of the day, something gets fucky. These guys are going to pay me. I'm going to give them the best I can give them. Okay? Then from there, you start, you know, shooting on. I've already paid my sound man, which means that whatever you were willing to pay that sound man to cover for me, I need you to go ahead and pay my band. If Deuce 9 is charging $150 to mix a band, and you are offering to pay Deuce 9 to mix my band as your form of payment to me, and I've paid Deuce 9, I want that $150.
So let me ask you this question. So you said there's levels. You agree with levels, basically. What level is the ambition?
They're not up and coming, but they're not headlining. But the thing is, I can and I can't say this. Ambition is not a bounce beat band. Ambition does play bounce beat, yes. But at the same time, Ambition has also played on an entire lineup of crank bands. What do you call a band that happens to play bounce beat but plays with crank bands? Do you call them a bounce beat band? Is it because we primarily play on bounce beat shows that we're a bounce beat band?
Maybe.
Why can't we just be a band that happens to play GoGo?
That might have been our problem. Because even when we played, you know, the crank, like, cause, you know, we played on all them shows. Mm-hmm. So we could still consider ourselves a bounce beat band. So that's something I think that maybe might have been a flaw in our game. Because you're right. I think, me personally, I think that bands should just say they're bands.
Yeah,
And you play whatever you play. But at the same time, like with trap rap, they all say they trap rappers, but they also say they're rappers. With bounce beat, I think sometimes as a unit, we all seclude ourselves from GoGo. But that's because we felt that GoGo secluded themselves from us for so long.
Like
bounce beat just got accepted, really.
Yeah.
Within maybe the last 5 years. Mm-hmm. And it took for Polo, and I've said this numerous times, it took for Polo to pass for it to get accepted.
Yep.
Because it wasn't accepted while he was here.
Nope.
So,
in fact, they started accepting it when he went into the hospital. Because that's when everybody tried to rival, oh, man, you got to pray for the man Polo, man. You know, he started that bounce beat shit, man. We got to do it for low. And then when he died...
I told you the story about when we went to the GoGo Awards meeting earlier off record. I'm not going to get into it, but that was what that represented for the old guard. Like I tell my mother all the time, you know, part of the reason why the GoGo doesn't grow to the next level is because we don't embrace the youth.
No, but
we just bash the youth, but we keep bashing the youth. That's why I think it's important for myself or Sibo or shooters, and I ask shooters, and I'm gonna ask you this as well, as you're getting to be an elder statesman in GoGo. Where do you think your responsibility lies as into giving back to the culture and giving back to the youth of the culture? And where do you think your responsibility lies? But also, where do you think the band members, lead mics per se, more so lead mics? What do you think their responsibility is to give back?
Give in what you or give out what you've given. No, give in what you've been given out. See, for me, GoGo has done a lot of things. Okay, I cannot give the same story that most of everybody in GoGo has given. I grew up mostly privileged, and I say privileged in the fact of the power's always been on. I've always had food on my table. I've always had access to technology. Okay? I am pretty sure that 98% of my peers in GoGo cannot say the same thing. Okay? I'm 25. I'm pretty sure most of my peers who are within a 7-year gap of me cannot say the same thing. So I cannot sympathize with the same things that they do. What I can say is anytime somebody in the go-go industry wants to do the same thing that I'm doing, which is mostly IT stuff, or even like somebody hit me the other day about joining the military, I'm more than open to giving advice. Like this market here, and I be telling people all the time. I told my man Boogie the other day, I was like, dude, anytime you want to cross over into IT, man, I'll teach you. You just need to be willing to learn. Because GoGo is what allowed me to flourish in IT. XGU is the culmination of my IT knowledge, okay? When I first started building websites, all I knew was how to build GoGo Centrals, which was registering a domain name, getting forum software, and throwing it up and making different forums. From there on, I started learning how to be a webmaster. I learned how to run my own web servers. And from there, when I tried to put together XGU, it was things that was over my head. I didn't know what the difference between a damn DNS server and a web server was. I couldn't tell you what DNS was.
Right.
But getting deeper into the rabbit hole of making what I had envisioned came true is what allowed me to go into the rabbit hole of IT. And so when I look back and people ask, outside of XGU, what would you get to GoGo? I was like, dude, anytime y'all want to put together some type of workshop where y'all want to introduce kids into IT, I'm all for it. The thing is, the only reason why I am not advocating for it is because I do not have the liberty to start such a thing. Because I'm in the Army, okay? I have to be ready to deploy at a moment's notice. In fact, my sergeant just called me, okay? So I do not have the flexibility of I'm going to start this program. I'm going to guarantee it keeps running. I can guarantee that my presence is always going to be there. I can't do that. But what I can do is I can give someone access to the tools that's going to enable them to do so. There is so many people in the go-go industry that do IT, it funnels me. And I'm just like, where were you guys 10 years ago when I was trying to pop into the door? Nobody was willing to teach that stuff. In fact, most of the people on my team, on the XG team, have more exposure to the IT stuff than they realize. Because I run XGU off of an entire cloud platform that I built myself. So when I tell them that XGU is a complex beast of different things put together to present one unified system, I'm just like, you can't just know how to take apart, your Aunt Michelle's PC and you think you're going to work XGU. It's more complex than that, because if you hit the wrong button, you about to fuck up the whole operation. And I need you to understand that by hitting this button, this triggers, and because that triggered, this activates, and because this activates, that is going to shut down, and because that shut down, this alert's going to spin off, and it's a whole trigger of things. So, for me personally, hey, if you ever want to learn IT and put that skill set to use, let me know. I'm open towards teaching, but I can only give you the tools and resources that's going to enable you to do so. Far as band members, far as lead mics, I want you to just think back of what is GoGo giving you? What opportunities has it led you to? What can you do to not only provide those who are coming up after you the same opportunity, but what more can you build on top of that? You know what I'm saying? The point of having a legacy is not only to provide the same pathway that you did, but it's enabling people to go beyond what you did. So if GoGo is what got you off of the streets, then maybe you should make a return to the streets, not an official, like, I'm back at it again type of capacity, but go back to where you started. I'm pretty sure you still got your good men out there, and maybe it might be too late for them, but it's not too late for the little men. It's not too late for everyone that's around as well. Gather them together, bring them out, and, be creative. You don't have to have a damn youth rally every time to get the youth involved. You know what I'm saying? This is a technical world. All you got to do is rent a damn a game center or whatever for one day on a Saturday. You know what my dad's generation used to call them back in the late 90s and early 2000s?
Arcades.
Fucking LAN parties.
Oh, okay.
Arcade too. You could build an arcade.
That's what I thought you was.
Oh no. Do a LAN party. Because all you got to do is get somebody like me who has the IT know-how to build one of those together. And what you do is you throw a giant fucking 2K tournament. You don't always have to be outside playing basketball. It's a damn pandemic. Y'all shouldn't be out here playing contact sports in the first place. What you can do is get people in a bunch of masks, tell them to bring out their damn Xboxes, their PS4s, or their gaming PCs, and you sit there and you have a whole damn tournament.
Well, yeah. So, one thing I wanted to say to people that are viewing, Project Dope is still here and we're still doing things, but we're trying to maneuver around the pandemic. So I haven't been trying to do too many outdoor events with Project Dope, but we are doing a 2K tournament. It's a Pro-Am tournament, so I'll give you some details later, but go ahead. Do you think, how do I put this? Do you think that right now bands don't have any unity?
Yeah. Think about it. Or I can't say think about it because it's really for them to think about. Personally, I work with 2 bands right now. Okay? I'm a manager in one. I'm a sound man in both. Okay? I'm pretty sure with the right provisions, the right parameters set, and the right agreements written, signed, and agreed to, I can get both of those bands to work together. Okay? But you have to have all that type of stuff filtered together, because the number one thing you're going to run into before you even run into legal issues is ego. Do I feel threatened by this band? Is this man trying to put something over me? Do they want to get something out of me? Why do we got to think that? Why can't it be like this is a great opportunity for us to bring our fan groups together? Because maybe the MTMs don't listen to the ambitions, and maybe the ambition people don't listen to the MTMs. But it's a great way to merge the crowds together. And then what you do is you get those people so used to coming around each other, they spread that word. Now you got new people coming in to see both. MTM was doing that shit at the Beer for You when they was running that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to MTM. They'll be here tomorrow. So,
Ooh.
yeah.
Dang, I gotta be back here tomorrow. That's crazy. It's like, nah.
Oh, you with them too?
Yeah, I'm a sound man. But you know, it's that type of collaboration. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be a band of like sound, of like minds. You know what I'm saying? Back in February when Ambition was first getting on with 1212 Lounge, right? We wanted to have an opening band that had a different crowd than us. Because what we want to do is not only, I mean, you know what everybody says, a good band steals, and I mean, a good artist, you know, creates, and a great artist steals, right? I don't want to necessarily steal your fans. That is my mentality. I cannot speak for anybody else as an individual, as a group. I don't want to steal people from you. I want to give your people a new experience. I want to open their minds, their eyes, their ears to something different. If you like it, you're going to stick around. You're going to come back for more. You'll be like, yo, I really like this. I want to hear more of it. So I'm going to come back. And then if I continue to come back and I like it, yo, I'm going to try to go wherever they go. I'm going to support them. You know, what else are they doing out here? Are they out here in the community? Do they have merchandise? Do they got stuff for sale? Like, you know what I'm saying? Fandoms go that way. But you have to build the type of platform for the fans, to enable the fans to do that. You know what I'm saying? I remember, what was it, back in 2009 when Rock and Rob created the movement? It was what? High Quality, Drama Squad, and AJA. All those are 3 different bands, but they all came together to bring one united front at the Plaza 23. You haven't seen a difference in the fans since. But we don't even have to stay within Bounce Beat. You know, one of my ultimate lineups is to have a band. Like, I liked Mochella this weekend, right? You had Junkyard, you had T.O.B., and I forgot what the third band was. But it was a band I don't really listen to. I like that dynamic because there's a group of people who go out to see T.O.B., then there is a group of people that go out to see Junkyard. And I am completely tickled in a good way by the fact that Junkyard played first. Because I'm pretty sure somebody's uncle was having a damn nervous breakdown at the audacity of having Junkyard perform first when Junkyard was the legends of the show. But it's not all about playing first. In fact, you know the great thing about having a legendary band open up first is good for? You already got the people there. And I'm already here. I may as well stay and continue to have a good time. So now I've been introduced to something different. I'm pretty sure a lot of the 40 and over crowd don't listen to Bounce Beat. They probably don't even listen to T.O.B. So I bet you what T.O.B. did, I wasn't there. I bet you T.O.B. opened up with a slamming ass pocket. And them old heads was like, God damn, these fuckers just cranking that damn pocket. And then boom, T.O.B. hit them with the bounce. And they was probably like, oh, shit.
You want to know my least viewed show?
What?
My Thursday Bounce Beat show.
Because people don't believe in Bounce Beat? Because they believe it's a bunch of pots and pans? Even though
my Wednesday shows, way back Wednesday, when I played music from 2000, I played music GoGo from the beginning to 2005. Those are my most viewed shows as far as my theme shows.
You want to know why?
Because the old heads be supporting, but they be hating as well.
Oh yeah, but let me also tell you why. And this is what I tell everyone. Number one, GoGo's number one characteristic. You cannot take this away from GoGo. And it's not just a GoGo thing. It's a musical thing. GoGo is driven by nostalgia. okay? When people go, the reason why GoGo operates the way it does, especially when it comes to live CDs, is because I was there. You're stamping my hood. I'm hearing it on my boombox. That's me you're calling out. I want to hear that shit 1,000 times because that's me. You know how hype I get when I hear K-Smoove fly through my car?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, that's me. I'm about to flip the shit out of this car because Shooter's my favorite people. I was like, hey, K-Smoove, let's go. I'm like, yes, that was me. That was me. That is why GoGo functions the way it does. Yeah. That is why your viewerships are so high. Mike T, I need you to consider what age you are, what your age group dynamic mostly is as far as your networking, and then based off of that information, you can be able to calculate what time period in GoGo they grew up in, what type of GoGo they like, and what bands they like. Because of those demographics, you can assume that yes, majority of the people that's going to tune in is going to be in the older demographic because they came up in that era and they like it.
That's not true though. Not for me.
I mean,
most of the people that tune into the Wednesday show are older than me, and I don't even. A lot of them I don't even know.
But that's what I'm saying.
But the bounce beat one, and I'm not trying to down bounce beat, but with the bounce beat, we don't support each other. You know what I'm saying? It's for example, very few people such as yourself, so far Shooters, so far Rob, are going to come all the way up here to rock with me. Mm-hmm. Period. Not because they don't like me or nothing like that. It's just that it's far. You know
Waldorf is far.
Huh?
Waldorf is far.
But they don't think of it like that because they play the show. So therefore, if I'm not benefiting them by coming to their show, which I have been lately, mm-hmm. But if I'm not benefiting them by coming to their show, or if I'm not all up in their face, they ain't gonna show no love. If you sit back and you just chill and bounce beat and you mind your business, that's when you get the least amount of love. And bounce beat is the opposite to me personally than it is with anything in life for real. Yeah. Most of our rules in bounce beat are different.
What rules?
If you're known for kirking, or you just randomly spaz out, you got people all in your comments telling you how right you are. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
As long as you writing all caps, you speaking facts.
In bounce beat, we tend to praise, and we tend to, how can I put this in a nice way?
What we praise
tend to like to make believe.
Yeah.
So the people that's really doing good stuff, we don't support.
No.
We support the facades. So that's why I say, like, I trust me, I thought about that with the demographics, and then I started reaching out to people that on my Wednesday show. And they all was older than me.
Yeah, you know.
So I'm like, it can't be because of my age, because my age is bounce beat. Mm-hmm. And my age is throwback bounce. So on a Thursday show, Mike T's playing throwback bounce. Mm-hmm. To me, that's a no-brainer. I would tune into that show if I used to go to the Thai, if I used to go to the CFP, if I used to go to the Pearl. I would think that those shows would be better than the way back Wednesday shows when I'm playing the old crank. Mm-hmm. But the old crank, they support. Well, GoGo has never supported each other fully.
No.
But it was way more camaraderie back in the day.
But
than it is with the bounce beat.
I have a theory of why. And I'm going to say this based off of my observations. You ask majority of the people that are in bounce beat. I'm talking about the people who are in a band, who are in some form of affiliation to the band or whatever, right? This does not include the fan entourage, okay? Ask them what music they listen to. Ask them what other bands do they listen to in bounce beat. A lot of them are going to say, I don't listen to other bands. I don't listen to GoGo. How the hell you going to know what you're up against if you don't listen to somebody else? I mean, you're going to listen to the people that came before you, yeah. But most people don't listen to...
That's Wayne.
Yeah, most people...
Wayne said that everybody else didn't think it.
Yeah.
I don't listen to everybody else.
Yeah, they'd be like, I don't know who that is. I mean, I know who they are because I see their name on the flyer, but I can't name you a song. Like, you know where I think I get most of my most clowning from is the fact that I can name at least one song from every band that's out now. And not only can I name the song, I can airplay your beat, I can airplay your entire rhythm section, and I'm gonna know all your hooks. Because when I listen and I like something, I'm gonna listen to it again. So what I don't understand when people be like, "Hey, yo, you know what I'm saying? Your shit sound good," but it's just like, okay, but did you only listen to it do that one time, or do you really rock with the shit? So you're just like, yeah, yo, I got y'all on rotation. You know what I'm saying? Because that shows the difference between fake love and real love. If I really rock with you, you gonna know I rock with you because I know what you're gonna play. I'm gonna get amped when you start playing something. If anybody who's watching right now seen that Snoop Dogg versus DMX versus, you should have seen the love going between those two.
I think
Especially
Snoop Dogg did
when
that on
where my dogs at played. That nigga Snoop got so amped. He was like, "Hey, yo, this my shit."
I think Snoop did that on purpose too. Me and my mother was talking about that. We think that Snoop did that on purpose for X. Because of how everybody viewed X for so long, he wanted his man to get his flowers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, me personally, I'm a fan of everybody. I've always, even surprisingly, a lot of people don't believe this, but any band that I had a problem with, I was a fan of them. That's why whenever we got into it, and I would diss them, I would say to them, "Yo, the reason why you have a problem with me is because I'm a fan of you. I know how good you are. That's how I know we're better." Like, that's what I would say. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was a fan of everybody, bro. Like, I know everyone's music. Everyone's music. Not just because I play it, you know, every day. I know everybody's music. That's how I know when with DJing, I know which music which songs I can blend together.
Yep.
Like, I can do a set. I've done sets on here where I've gone from Junkyard to T.O.B., then to Trouble Funk, ABM, so on, back and forth. That was the set.
Because it blends. It's
You know, because you know the blends. And like you said with Junkyard, I think that it was so cool. When I saw it, first of all, I didn't know they opened up. But actually, I did. I did because I ended up seeing the T.O.B. live right after I saw Junkyard live. So I put two and two together. They did.
That's that same thing I did. They
Right,
played during the sunlight. T.O.B. played with no light.
Right. So yeah, until you just said it though, I didn't really think about it. But yeah, I did know that T.O.B. headlined that, or closed. But Junkyard has been doing it for so many years, and I think that was a missed opportunity for GoGo as a whole.
Who you say that?
Because it should have been presented bigger than
What
what it was, man. Like, I'm not against them 14th and you Go-Go's. By no means. I'm not against protesting Go-Go's at all. I've been to them. I've been going to them all. You know, when people see me, a lot of times they see me at those protesting and the Go-Go's. But I don't see the purpose of it down there. At this point, we've been protesting. If we're protested for what we're supposed to be protested for, I feel as though we need to be in the hoods. Point blank, period. And you think about it this way. The world, COVID happened. The world shut down. We're all sitting in the house.
Yep.
Like you said earlier, and I'm glad that you said it when I said your responsibility to GoGo, and you said when it took on some tech stuff. Like I said earlier, to give you your flowers, you hit me to help me with my show. I didn't hit you. You personally hit me. It was like, look, let me help you make this better. So when COVID hit, everybody sitting at home, my show, playing my show, doing my show, boom, George Floyd hits. and that happens, and he gets murdered. That's what brought everybody back out. Now everybody just staying out.
Yep, because they not scared anymore.
Right. But since George Floyd brought everybody out and we started doing these go-go protests downtown, everybody's going back down there. But when the stuff is happening in our communities, it's happening back in our communities. Even when they try, like, I disagree with certain people when they say, I believe that those people should not have been down southeast. However, I only believe that because of COVID.
Right.
I don't believe it if COVID wasn't happening. You can't tell me that people shouldn't be allowed to have fun.
Right.
Wherever they're at. Like, we have got so desensitized to violence that we, at this point, we don't even blame the shooter because we think the shooter gonna come shoot us.
Right.
So, for me, I said that to say, we could be doing the work in the hoods by having these go-go's in the hoods. Because a lot of these shootings that are happening, ain't no badges have been there.
Yeah. But then you got to get into the thing of, okay, finding a big enough area in the hood to not only host it, but you got to think about,
there's plenty of places.
Limits.
I'm not saying you have to do it in one hood. There's plenty of hoods in DC that is big enough that you can do it. Dude, and you seen it, and everybody else seen it. Bring back Georgia Ave Day for one day for a peaceful event. Just call it Georgia Ave Day. You ain't, like you said, you don't have to with the youth. The difference with our era. Well, yeah, I would consider you our era too a little bit. With our era and these youngins, you could have fooled us with the event instead of youth event, and we're gonna be like, all right, we're going.
Yep.
These kids, they're not stupid. We don't give a damn if you name it a youth event. Yeah. So just name it Georgia Ave Day. Have everybody come out and have the bands play. I'm not saying that it have to even be salacious. It don't have to be a big light production. All I'm saying is that when you're doing it down 14th and you're just doing it, not to say in a safe way, but you're not talking to the people that really need
because it's all the white folks out there.
Yeah.
The only people that's coming out is the folks who are able to get there via metro. And there's a lot of people.
I made a mistake going down there trying to drive down there, man. The first time, man, I got into a car accident.
Damn.
The very first time they had one this year, which was T.O.B. and Subtle. I had literally came out. This is when I first started getting on my protester stuff. I came from Germantown, drove to Iverson Mall, met Rob, picked up my shirts, came back to White Oak, went back to Iverson Mall and saw ABM, and then I left from ABM to go downtown to go see Subtle, and I got into a car accident. Downtown, when I'm looking to park.
Yeah, yes, no. I know good and well. I learned my lesson the first time I drove to a Mochella last year. Never. The move now is, especially since I'm no longer in Waldorf, so I can get to the metro quicker. Right. I either go to the Capitol Heights station or I go to Anacostia, and not even Anacostia. I go to Branch, get on the Green Line, make my way wherever I need to. Because that way, at least, I don't got to worry about parking. I know I can get back to my car. I take my tail home. The only thing I got to worry about is folks acting up on the metro. Folks start acting up on the metro, hey.
Even for me, it's still far getting on the train out here.
Oh, no, because you out here in Azkaban.
That's why. To drive the Shady Road is a 15-minute drive. Then the train downtown, it's probably 45 minutes. So so either way,
the fact that you're past Disney World means you fall.
That's what I'm saying. What I mean by for people that want to go, you know what I'm saying? Everyone don't feel comfortable going down there. Everybody don't feel comfortable going down to 14th Avenue, and I think that the people that we need to be touching is we need to be touching these people in the community. I mean, I'm sorry, I said worded that wrong. We need to be touching the people in the community. That's why I also asked you as far as what you think think that bands should be giving back and lead mics should be giving back. Because to me, and you can answer this as well, G had that. G, Bugs, Ra, E from OP Tribe. That's about it I can name from that era. Because I can't say that the UCB, TCB, Raw Image era, any of them could have did it. Polo could have did it later in the bounce beat. But I'm asking bounce beat wise, I think I was talking to shooters yesterday, and I think him, Chris, and maybe Sibo are the only ones that I think, as far as lead mics right now, that could actually talk to these kids. And like back in the day when you hear a CD and you hear Big G tell people stop fighting, those are the only three I think right now in bounce beat that had that control, that mic control. Is there anybody else that you can hit me to, or is there anybody that you know that personally you feel as though? Because I think that's what I'm saying. It's a big giving back.
Because nobody else, to me, is putting themselves in and I will call it a figurehead pedestal where, okay, I know you're here and I know you're somebody to respect. So whatever you say is word, I'm going to take it to heart. You know what I'm saying? There's nobody in the current generation of lead mics. I'm talking about everyone who's a B-list level band and below. They have not established themselves as that, because most of the B level and below mics, they're not not in the hood.
I think Dusty too.
Oh yeah, but Dusty T's not a B level band.
It's okay, so that's something I just stumbled upon.
T's not a B level band.
With Dusty and them, like they're different as far as standing on their own.
Oh yeah.
Do you see what he does, and do you see how he does? Because I think Dusty's a great innovator in GoGo.
Oh yeah.
Do you see what he does, and do you think that it gets recognized enough?
No, because folks don't give Dusty his credit. If anything, to me, amongst the people in our peer group, Dusty does the greatest business. Okay, I have no complaints about Dusty whatsoever. In fact, Dusty has taken things so far to an extreme that half the time you want to forget that Dusty staple chases in True Expressions. But he's made True Expressions bigger than just being True Expressions. You know what I'm saying? They are more than just Uptown's finest at this point. The entire City Dreams Entertainment was built on the platform of True Expressions. In my eyes. It might not be the same way to Dusty, but to me, the entire CDE, their foundation was in True Expressions, and from there they just took off. Cause shoot, half the time you bring up Dusty, you be like, oh, from City Dreams. You be like, I don't know City Dreams, but I know True Expressions. True Express. Oh yeah, that's right. That is where they came from.
Would you say he's a legend?
He is worthy of being a legend. In fact, I would not call him a legend because at this point, I do not like the word legend. We hype the term legend up too much.
Icon.
We have too many of them. I can say icon, but a better phrasing for Dusty is to be. I would give him something like Hall of Fame. Or MVP. Okay, because icon to me is too generic. A legend is too generic. You know what I'm saying? He would have to be in the Hall of Fame.
That's big. So let me ask you this. Okay, so we stumbled upon something else. What time do you have to leave? So I know.
By 9.
Cool. I got 30 minutes with you. We're gonna do something new.
Okay.
This is I've done something new at the end of the show every different week. So this is something new I'm doing just with you.
Okay.
We fantasy booking.
Okay.
Not booking, but we have a Hall of Fame. GoGo Hall of Fame. Okay. We already know G, Bugs, the older bands.
Let's go Mount Rushmore.
Right. We're just talking bounce beat.
Okay.
Give me 10 entries into the GoGo Hall of Fame. The first 10.
My first 10.
But it could be band members. It could be bands.
Mm-hmm.
It could be, and we're not talking about bounce beat Hall of Fame. We're talking about GoGo Hall of Fame. Like, so there's a college basketball Hall of Fame,
mm-hmm.
and there's a basketball. Because, you know, the basketball Hall of Fame is everything. It's not just NBA. It's worldwide and everything. Okay. So there's a college one. There's a professional basketball one, and there's a basketball Hall of Fame.
Okay.
So give me 10.
Okay. So I'll give you mine, and I'll even give you the explanations of why.
Oh, go ahead.
Number 1 would be TCB.
Okay.
We already know why. Okay. I can't, you know, it's always been a strain, you know, the inventors of the bounce beat. They're the progenitors of the bounce beat. Okay? You say TCB, you can't say bounce beat without TCB. That's period, point blank. So, thrown in there TCB. My second nomination would have to be ABM. Because ABM is the slow bounce.
Remember, okay. I said bands.
I know. And individuals.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
I know. I gotta get through my band list first.
Okay. Hold on. Let's make this even better.
Okay.
As the NFL does, they have first ballot Hall of Famers.
Uh-huh.
And they got, you know, you gotta wait.
Okay.
Let's name 20 bands, people.
Okay.
You name 10, I name 10.
Okay.
And then we say if they first ballot, when you know, I'm leaving this all on you.
Okay.
Because you know how people feel about me. So I'm going to leave this all on you.
In fact, here, make it even better. You list, I'll tell you whether they're first or they're
okay. Got you. I'm going to do 20.
Don't make it easier on me.
Got you. Okay. So, let me play a song.
Okay.
So I can get my list together. I'm gonna play a song, and I'm gonna look because I need to look at my list, and I don't want to just say bands. So yeah, I don't want to just say bands. I want to say, you know, I want to say some names. So I want to see what you think, and I want to see if anybody else agrees with you or disagrees with you. Matter of fact, all right, let's see. Is this they not a bounce beat band. I'm gonna play this. So yeah, you're in the Cranked Out GoGo Happy Hour. I'm about to play a song. If you did not hear what we're talking about, I'm gonna name some names. K-Smoove is gonna tell me are they first ballot Hall of Fame, or do they second ballot, or do they gotta wait a little bit? We here in the Cranked Out GoGo Happy Hour. Robot Lady, holla at these people for me.
You are now tuned into the Cranked Out GoGo Happy Hour. Hosted by Hollywood Mike T.
Mike T.
Yes, sir. You back? We're back in the CrankedOut GoGo Happy Hour. It's your boy Hollywood Mike T, and I'm here with my guest K-Smoove. I didn't have to do anything. Deuce 9 had to do something, and he had to reschedule. So I'm gonna get him on another date. He got some stuff for backyard, so y'all can't get mad at him because I know y'all want to hear some backyard crank. So he's working on some backyard crank to make sure it gets out the yard real quick. So K-Smoove was going to be here anyway. So we are doing something new with K-Smoove. We are not ranking necessarily because we don't want to be disrespectful, but I'm asking him GoGo Hall of Famers. So when I say GoGo Hall of Famers, people, I don't mean the middle school or not middle school, but the college Hall of Fame. I don't mean the professional Hall of Fame. I mean the big one. Like the basketball Hall of Fame. It's called the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. It ain't called the professional, the NBA Hall of Fame. It's called the Hall of Fame of the Hall of Fames. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to name some names. And he's going to tell me if they're first ballot or if they're second ballot or if they got to wait like T.O. had to wait. All right? So I'm going to go with this first band. They're not a Bounce Beat band, but we talked about them earlier, I believe. Well, no, I didn't talk to you earlier. I talked to somebody else about them earlier. UCB. Second ballot? So they would have to wait a year? Mm-hmm. Okay. And why? I'm not going to ask you why for everybody, but why for them?
Because their impact on my generation is not as big as the impact on the previous generation.
Shit.
I
don't curse on this show, but shit.
I'm talking about me personally. Because to me, you know what I'm saying, I came into UCB when they was hitting Sexy Lady. That was my intro to UCB. Got you. And then you learned later. Yes.
Got you. Okay. All right, that makes sense. That's actually, I loved how you broke that down because I didn't even think about it that way. Okay. Next band, we talked about them earlier as well. Okay. Raw Image.
Same.
Okay.
Second, because I didn't learn about Raw Image until later. In fact, there was a time where I used to get Big G and Big Six confused.
Ooh, you want to piss some old heads off? Cause
they gotta remember that's not my era.
Got you.
In fact, if I want to be honest,
I'm not mad, but I know.
I know. If I want to be honest, that 2001 to 2006 era GoGo is completely blank.
So if I ask you any of them, you're gonna tell me probably second ballot.
Probably most likely, unless I know listen of them more. But I can only say that because I grew up to GoGo based off of what my uncle listened to and what my cousins listened to. And then I did not branch to GoGo myself until 2007.
Hey, somebody that's out there listening to the show, could y'all do me a favor? Could y'all track these down so we can post it? Because this is actually a good conversation. And I want to do this again, so I don't want to forget. So please, if you're out there, please track down when he's his list because I'm trying to remember. Okay, so I got one more from that era then.
Shoot. Because
you said I'm gonna see what really you say on this one. MOB.
First ballot.
Whoa, you really just pissed a lot of people off. Okay. And why? I have to give it a why for that one.
I say that because MOB is the pre-screening of TOB. At least in my opinion.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Just hearing Tinko and then hearing Lil Chris is yeah. And then I can say I came in at the edge of MOB. Okay, I can't say that I first heard MOB when Tinko was leading. I actually first heard MOB when Steve was leading. So that is my era of MOB. But when I go back and I listen to them, and I listen to stuff like it's my favorite '05 CD. I hear the song and it's like cranking in my head, but I can never see the title of the song in my head. But the first two tracks of this one CD from '05, straight fire the whole time. I gotta blame Jay Will for breaking me into that, because I heard it and I was like, I've never heard anything like this before. But MOB to me does not get their props. So I would say they would be first, and that would only be because of my personal experience. Y'all can crucify me on Facebook later, but to me, I can give.
Once we post this, well, I'm trying to remember because I remember the first three because once that
Oh no,
they're gonna kill you.
Oh no, but they need to remember the time period of GoGo I came up in. So my opinion is going to be mostly ignorant because the raw images, the UCBs, the MOBs, anybody who was playing in that time period. You can say 3DB.
I was about to ask them next.
I'm gonna put them at second because 3DB does not have that much of an influence on my GoGo listening.
But can't you say that because of SIBO's influence that they would be first ballot?
What SIBO has done versus what 3DB has done is two different things.
Okay. So SIBO would be first ballot.
I can give SIBO a first ballot.
Okay.
I would not give 3DB a first ballot.
Okay. All right. I got somebody else. Let's see. AAO.
They have to wait.
How long would they have to wait? How many years? You don't. Okay, never mind. Don't worry about that. They have to wait. Okay, because that's when it gets disrespectful. Like, yeah, man, like, you tell me I gotta wait 10 years? No, we're not gonna do that.
I'm gonna tell you.
No. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. Don't do that.
Sure?
I promise you. Because
I know commentary on AAO.
Yeah, nobody. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. Okay. Waiting is fine enough. So, all right. Let's see. TJ.
It's hard. Because I can't discredit the man. But I cannot put him on a pedestal. And in fact, no, TJ as an individual, I need an in-between. Because I want to say he's on first, but if I put him as first, there's other people that I would have to put as first as well. And the only reason why I'm putting him as first is because of his talent. Okay? His talent. I cannot speak towards his influence because I have not seen TJ in that light.
Gotcha.
But based off of his talent alone, I can put him in first. I would otherwise put him second.
I agree with him being first ballot as well. I agree with only one joint you said so far. That's the only one I agree with so far. Okay, cool. Let's see. Rob.
Second.
Okay.
Because whether people are going to admit it or not, Rob, with good intentions, does a lot for Bounce B GoGo and GoGo overall. But I have never in my life spoken to somebody who is always throwing something for the community.
Right.
Like, every time you see something for the community in GoGo, especially coming from Bounce Beat, is Rob.
That's why I told him.
And it might not always go the way he envisioned it, but the fact that he's making it happen, no matter the cost to him, I gotta give him props to that.
Okay. another person. Kendall. We gotta think about all of his contributions now. All of them.
I know. And that's why I'm just like... Second.
Okay. That's another one I don't agree with.
I know why, but let me tell you why he is second. Because he gave birth to a first.
What you mean? So phase 2, you think is the first ballot?
No. He created a different monster.
Who?
Deuce 9.
So then I gotta be first ballot then, because I created Deuce 9. Like, I don't get no damn credit. Because nobody would. Okay, I'm not gonna say that, man. I'm not gonna say that. All I know is I don't get my credit. Because if Kendall gets credit for Deuce 9 over me, I'm upset.
I have not heard the story of how you've contributed to Deuce 9 being who he is now.
I'm the one that pushed him to get the fatal. I took him to that practice.
True. But
physically.
But I've heard the story of how Kendall led Deuce 9 to
sound. Yeah. No. I'm not saying Kendall didn't do nothing. All I'm saying is if you just said, dude, Kendall, you gotta get. Listen, I wasn't even gonna ask me because I don't want to know. Because I know I'm gonna have to wait on everyone's list. But I'm not tripping. But no, come on, man. If Kendall gets first ballot, because you said second ballot.
Second.
Okay.
I can't give him number 1 because Kendall dropped off. To me, if I'm going to put you in a first position, there has to be a consistency. Because there has been a time where Kendall's been out of the game. And then he popped back, he poked his head in, came back out. Now he's back in the game. There has to be a consistency. You know what I'm saying? Deuce 9's been active for over 15 years now.
Kendall's been active for 20.
I can't speak to before 2005.
Because I think Kendall was first ballot. I wasn't saying because what I just said about Deuce 9 and me messing with Deuce 9 first, that doesn't take away from him being first ballot to me. Mm-hmm. But I think that for what he's done with the movements he's had, and a lot of people think I'm biased because the friends I have in GoGo, but I'm being real. I think Kendall will be first ballot for me because look what he's done with who he's done it with. You know, he created a different identity from Fatal to Phase 2. Mm-hmm. You can arguably say that Phase 2 is better than Fatal.
Yeah.
It's debatable.
Yeah.
He did the same thing with Loud, and that was a good band. Mm-hmm. Smoking Joe was the drummer of that band, right?
Yep.
Okay. Then he did the same thing. He's doing the same thing with Subtle. Subtle Rock's on a whole nother level.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, they used to sound like a cover band. Mm-hmm. Now they sound like a band that does covers very good, but they also crank very hard.
But I'm talking in a complete...
And he used to be a sound man.
Oh, I know. But I'm talking about in a complete package. You're saying contribution to GoGo, right? I don't know Kendall before Fatal. I don't know Kendall. I'm aware of him in Subtle. But outside of what he's done in his bands, how he's performed, and outside of what he's doing in sound, what else has Kendall done? I'm ignorant to that.
Okay.
So I cannot fully weigh in, which is
got you. So I'm gonna ask your age group then. Okay, got you. I'm not gonna ask no more older people because you gonna piss some people off, man.
It's all good.
I know. And plus, nobody should really be mad because you haven't said one person is in the Hall of Famer yet. You just said that one band has to wait. UCB is number 2. Brian Image is number 2. MLB is number 1. Ooh, they gonna kill you for that. But
It'll be alright. I'll just turn this soundboard off.
Got you. Alright. Okay, I got somebody for you. Vinny.
Gotta wait.
Damn. Okay. You're gonna have to elaborate on that one. AJA.
Gotta wait.
Okay. MTM.
Gotta wait.
HQB.
Gotta wait.
Are there any members in those 4 bands that you just said they gotta wait that will be on the ballot? Like first 3 ballots. Like, okay, so
We're talking about GoGo as a whole, right?
yeah, I'm talking about like in their band period. Like, yes. So like Boogie, keyboard player.
Gotta wait.
Okay. I would have, me personally, I like Boogie's style. He would be 3rd ballot for me. It'll take him 3 times, but he'll get in. Let's see. Spaceman.
2nd.
Okay. Ooh, I got one.
Ooh. Go get me
I
trouble.
got one. Showtime. Yeah, I know.
Had you asked me 10 years ago, I would have said first. I still want to say first because when he transitioned to Gospel GoGo, he took off.
He was about to make the wave. He could have took Gospel GoGo and made it the big thing.
Oh, he did. I mean, the people that he was bringing in, it was
XIB fans.
Yeah.
Sweezy gang. Yeah.
And it's not just them. I'm talking about the Ty Tribbetts, the Kirk Franklins, putting chopping on a national platform, but in a in a religious lens. Yeah, I can give him number 1 for that. And honestly, I'd have to come back up here for another interview because, in my humble opinion, Gospel GoGo does not get discussed enough when it comes to GoGo.
Okay, and I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna make sure that Wayne listens to this, and my man Martell listens to this, because I feel the same way, and I support them brothers. They with me in Project Dope, so we brothers in change. So those are my guys, and I'm gonna bring them up here as well. Whenever we can all figure out our schedule, I'm gonna definitely bring them up here. But I think, and I'm not even gonna. Me personally, I agree with you as far as Showtime. I'm gonna give him the nod every time, first ballot, because what he did with XIB. Yeah. To me, I'm just gonna say this: there's certain people in the game, like basketball wise. Penny Hardaway, we know if he wouldn't have got hurt, we know what he was gonna be. Oh, yeah. Grant Hill, we know what he was going to be. Get into your age group. You watch basketball, right? A little bit? Okay. You know who Brandon Roy is? Okay. Well, you know who Greg Oden is. Damn. Okay. Well, anyway.
You got to talk about the MJs, the Kobe's, the Allen Iversons.
Okay.
That's my era basketball.
To me, Showtime, I'm not going to say Kobe. I'm not going to say Iverson. But I'm going to say Tracy McGrady.
Okay.
If Tracy McGrady wouldn't have got hurt and would have had y'all the whole time, he'd have had a ring. I think that Showtime, if he would have stayed in regular GoGo, or if he would have stayed consistent with gospel GoGo, he would be, like you said, like we were saying earlier, that it hasn't been anything in 20 years, well, almost 20 years since Bounce Beat. He would have been that next thing.
Oh, yeah.
I think that he would. So, because of that potential, I believe he's first ballot. I know you got to get out of here, so let me think somebody else. I already know what you think about T.O.B. They first ballot. They have to be.
Yeah.
Youngest band to ever win a GoGo Award. Youngest band to perform at a GoGo Award. I mean,
what they're doing now is great.
Right, and before, but to me, they was first ballot when I was active. Like, the work they put in from 06 to 08.
Oh yeah.
And I know.
And that's peak TOB for me.
For me too. But for me, I watched them when they used to open up for. So another band I played for after I left High Gravity, after High Gravity kind of split, we didn't break up. We was a family. We didn't break up. Everybody went to college and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
But I played for Armed and Dangerous.
Okay.
So I played for them for a little bit. Matter of fact, the CDs that you have on GoGo exclusive, I'm on them.
Okay.
So yeah, I played for them. That's how Armed and Dangerous. That's ended up becoming New Vision. It was two bands that formed to make New Vision. But anyway, I said it to say, T.O.B. used to open up for Armed and Dangerous. And Armed and Dangerous, you go listen to the music, we were horrible. Even before me, we were horrible, but we were horrible as far as back then standards. But they were kids doing this. And I watched their growth in that 2-year span. The fastest, them and UCB as youngins had the fastest growth in GoGo, improvement. You know what I'm saying? From UCB Neighborhood Life to We Got Next, their musicianship skyrocketed. So that's why I say first ballot. Okay, let's do this because I know you got to get up out of here. So one word answers. Hot or cold?
Okay.
Huh? Hot or cold? You got to pick one.
Hot.
Okay. Chicken or beef?
Chicken.
Okay. Go-go or rap?
Go-go.
Rap or R&B?
R&B.
Okay. Carry out or Popeyes?
Popeyes.
Okay. Soundman or IT?
IT.
Okay. And last thing, K-Smoove in one word. No. MTM in one word, Ambition in one word, K-Smoove in one word.
MTM in one word. One word.
One word.
I can't say one. Can I say a phrase? Can we do a phrase?
Okay, for
instead?
the bands, for MTM and Ambition, I'll let you get a phrase.
Okay.
For you get a word.
Okay. So for MTM, coming for that ass.
Okay.
Ambition, like that. K-Smoove is always going to be K-Smoove.
All right. That's what it is, y'all. So we out of here. We went an hour over. Last night we went 2 hours over. We probably would have went 2 hours over. But Deuce 9, like I said, he has to provide the crank for backyard. So we're going to reschedule it. I promise y'all. I'm going to get him in here. He said they supposed to be dropping something soon, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know if I was supposed to say that or not, but since you ain't show up, you ain't tell me if I was supposed to say it or not. But he's preparing something for backyard. I think he might be cooking some food for them or something. I don't know. But we'll get him back up here. That's my man K-Smoove. We're definitely gonna have K-Smoove up here way more than this one time. We'll definitely have him up here talking about more stuff than we can talk about because we can go all night. You see how the conversation just flows. So thank y'all for tuning in. For those that tuned in, I will post the YouTube link tomorrow, and so you can come back and listen to it. And tomorrow we have the Flavor Gang in here tomorrow. I don't know if K